Drivers, start your engine!
Be plenty of carnage, full head on them, wound up. Yeehaw, boys. Holy. It's a junkyard. Spend too much time hitting people. Chill, second. No gas, gotta hang off here. Don't overdrive. Just let me do my job for 10 times. I don't care if I wreck the whole field. I'm over him. He's just a moron. That was an absolute bull. Not clear. Awesome. I tell you, Mama ain't raising no. What the f*** are you doing out here? People are saying, just racing like idiots. I don't care. Just let me drive. What is he doing? This is embarrassing. What a clown show.
Did you ever think you would see that?
How the f*** did that just happen? Holy cow! Let's go!
How's it going, everyone? Welcome into NWP tonight here on DannyBTalks. I am Danny B, joined alongside by my co-host, Jarrett the Iceberg Lindbergh, rocking his Winston Cup Series hat as usual, and Eric Estep rocking that slick NWP hat this week. I see it, sir. Made locally.
Give you the sign to bunt. Make sure to bunt here on this first play call. Here we go.
Made locally by a group from not far away from you at Lake Fork, Texas.
As we found out, which I appreciate you making that connection and picking this up for me, Danny. That was a good deal.
Good little group there. Got a little bit to talk about. One, there's something. Ka-chow, 20th anniversary cars.
Good. I got the color and everything.
If you've never seen on my channel, I have a video called Rusty's Racing, The Rise and Fall. That was a ridiculous April Fool's video I spent way too much time doing, but go check it out. It's a fun one.
But it was no joke.
After the show. What also was no joke was Denny Hamlin getting his 63rd career Cup Series victory. As I rightfully called it, I told y'all last week, you asked when is he going to do it? I said it would be this weekend, and there he was. I called it, had my shot on NWP picks, got it right. And, I think that went down about as a lot of people expected. He ties his longtime teammate, Kyle Busch, God rest his soul, in career Cup Series wins. Guys, what do we think about this one? And also on that same note, he got his victory by 11 seconds, oddly enough.
11.11.
11.11. He drives the 11. We lost a great Ned Jarrett who drove the 11. A lot of emotions in that one right there alone.
Yeah. I mean, Denny is just I question how he can retire next year. After next season, just because and we know the age cliff can hit at any time, but he has been just aging so gracefully as a driver. He's, Denny Hamlin has always been an awesome driver, and we all know that, but he's never been like a raw talent guy the way that like Kyle Larson or Kyle Busch, even Jeff Gordon, were just raw talent. But he's always been somebody that's really smart as a driver. And it just shows more and more by the way that now 2 weeks in a row, it's like the meme. Oh, yeah. So I just won by going from the back of the pack to the front. You want to see me do it again? Like, it's insane how good he is. Now, granted, a lot of the good competition got taken out, but he did what he had to do. And Tyler Reddick better hope he doesn't get caught by him, because if Denny Hamlin goes in with the points lead this year, it's going to be tough to beat him.
I can't stress how huge for Denny it was that he won and Tyler wrecked. We'll talk about the points later, but it closed that gap majorly between those two.
Yeah, he made up, I think, over 40 points this week alone. And that's with Tyler Reddick winning a stage and earning 10 stage points of his own. So, no, Denny, something that crossed my mind was the other day was, Denny Hamlin. We talk a lot about his versatility. We talk a lot about his adaptability, how he's continued to grow and get better. What I think we need to talk a little bit more about is the resilience to come back from last fall Phoenix and then everything that happened this offseason. Like, it wasn't that long ago. One of our preseason narratives was, will Denny Hamlin be as engaged, as locked in as he was last year? I mean, he did everything right down the stretch last season, had the most wins in the Cup Series, was dominating Phoenix that final run, had the championship within his grasp, and it was ripped away in a matter of like 5 minutes. It was so sudden. It was whiplash.
Like, just
And
that face, that recollection, that memory of seeing his face just sitting in the car after that. It was just such, and like, that was the lowest I think I've ever seen.
And him afterwards saying if he had won that race and won that championship, he would have begged Joe Gibbs to retire on the spot. Like, I think it was fair to wonder between the tragedy and the offseason, like, how engaged would Denny be come Daytona? And he even admitted that he wasn't fully locked back in. It took him a few weeks, but golly, I think that's what's so impressive. Like, we know about his talent. We know about the work he puts in. He continues to get better, reinvent himself every year, every couple months. It seems he finds a weakness and improves it. But the fact that he was able to bounce back, he's been able to overcome and basically compartmentalize and erase the disappointment that happened in November and race this season as well as he's ever raced I think 10 or 15 years ago, that was the knock against Denny. He's not mentally tough enough. He got in his own head in 2010 and maybe cost himself a shot at the championship that year. But the last couple seasons, the last few months especially, I think we've seen not only the most talented version of Denny Hamlin, but maybe the mentally toughest version as well. And that is dangerous for the rest of the competition.
That's a good point too from Peter, with the shoulder injury on top of it.
Yeah, add that to the list of adversity.
And I've said, like, I like to watch the re-uploads of races that Vody puts on that channel. And currently, the most recent one, the last time I checked, was Phoenix 2010, when Denny was at his previous all-time low. Went on the next week. Spoilers, anyone who's watching, 16 years later, for the first time. Went to basically choke away the championship and then have a really down year in 2011 for Denny's standards. I think I was his lone win. I think he only had one win that year, and it was Michigan. And it was basically pure dumb luck, way unlike this one. And so to see the stark difference between somebody who pretty much had it locked up, had it taken, not even taken away, but just not an optimal way to go into the last weekend and then blow it, versus a guy who had everything taken away from him out of his control, on top of, like you said, the tragedy, which probably is seemingly insurmountable compared to the championship. And maybe that's kind of how he compartmentalizes it. To then come back and be maybe better than last year. I mean, Denny Hamlin is the scariest driver in NASCAR right now, and I don't think it's even a close battle.
So, something just to talk about, just for the pure sake of it, him getting 63 wins, he is 13 away now from Dale Earnhardt. Do you think that could be a goal he wants to try to reach for? I mean, he's the kind of guy, like, it wouldn't shock me if he made some more ground this year on it and he just crank out a lot next year if he sticks around.
I don't know about 76, but I think he can hit 70. I think if he gets 3 more wins this year, he only needs a 4-win season next year in comparison to the last 2 years. So, like, I think 70 is realistic. If he sticks around past 27 for some reason, 76, I think then would be more realistic.
That's the thing. I feel like I could see Denny doing a few things. If he wins the championship this year, I could see him pulling a Peyton Manning type thing when he won the Super Bowl and retired after that. And then that's just it for Denny Hamlin, just ended a year sooner than he said. But I could also see he just follows through to next year. And if he's sitting there like, man, I'm at 70, I'm at 71, 72 wins or something like that, it's not that much further. Maybe stick it out for one more season, try to reach Dale's number. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he could. I think it's going to be hard if they're still, and he even said as much, if they're running this good this time next year,
it'd be very hard.
It would be hard not to sign another, 1-year deal. And I think he's also alluded to, it'll depend a little on how Brent Cruz is developing and how, if you will, the succession plan is lined up. But Yeah, I think 70 wins is absolutely on the table between this year and next year. Absolutely. And I'm with you guys. If he does add another year, I mean, we'll see how things play out. I think it's important to note Toyota right now is heads and shoulders above Ford and Chevy. And so he needs to take advantage of this while he can, because that advantage won't last forever.
I know he's never really seemed crazy about the idea. You mentioned Brent Cruz. Even if the 11 team itself is going to transfer, to Brent Cruz, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to eventually just want to run his own car if he still wants to keep racing, if that seems like an easy option too.
Well, I mean, it's like, to be honest, though, the other part of it is the competition factor, because I know we'll probably talk about it in a moment here, but Hendrick looked maybe not to the point of where Gibbs was, but especially the 9 and the 5, they looked more like Hendrick Motorsports than I think a lot of people remember. And let's be honest, Chase Elliott's been pretty damn good, and so is Kyle Larson at the intermediates this year, which make up 4 or 5 of the Chase races. So it's like, it's not exactly, it's a done deal. I personally put him as the favorite, but I mean, we've seen it before. A lot can change in the last part of the year, and we still have a bye week too that can help the other teams get caught up. So I'm not going to write it all in stone just yet, but I mean, just as much as we talk about what he could do next year, if he wins the championship this year, well, what's stopping him from retiring? Especially if Brent Cruz is deemed ready to go. What else does he have to prove? I
mean, Carl Edwards left before we knew he was going to go, so it's not like it's the first time it ever happened.
I did hear Denny say on Gluck's show today that it would be hard for him to retire after this year because of sponsor contracts that are already being put into place. So I do think he's going to race next season regardless, maybe make it a farewell tour if he wins the title this year. I'm not sure. I want to mention your point, Jarrett. Yeah, like Chevy's starting to catch up, something to watch. Top 3 stage points earners at Michigan were all Chevrolets. It was Elliott, Hocevar, Larson. So that's the thing, is like Denny needs to stack these wins now, kind of like Tyler Reddick did the first few weeks. Stack these wins while Toyota is ahead, because I think we all know Hendrick in due time is going to catch up, maybe even surpass them at some point. And who knows, maybe by next year, Team Penske with that new Ford is back out front as well.
Well, and man, I mean, even in the Toyota tree, Eric Jones, second place finish. I mean, he wasn't going to catch Denny, but damn, I mean, this team's been pretty good the last month.
Yeah, I think I looked it up. Oh, no, I'm going to get the number wrong. Somebody else. His average finish is inside the top 10 over the past month. That much I know. On ovals, I think he had like an 18th or 19th at Watkins Glen. He's never been a great road racer. Take out Watkins Glen, all the ovals recently, he's had top 10 speed. He was top 5 at Dover, top 5 this weekend. It was cool. It was cool to see how good he was on the long run. And now I think we've seen a large enough sample size to know it's no fluke. Like, this team, they're not championship contenders. I'm not ready to say that yet, but this team maybe has taken that next leap into chase contention. Like Jones for the next few weeks will probably be in that chase conversation, and that's a huge step forward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and looking at some of the ones that he's around, and I mean, he's running just about where all of the rest of the guys from about 14th to 19th in points are at. It's not like it's, lucking into good runs, and the speed he had, honestly, I don't think we've seen Legacy have that kind of speed consistently over a couple of weeks since 2022, when it was still like the GMS, hybrid.
Since Jimmy took over, this is the best Legacy has looked, because even John Hunter Nemechek got turned on that restart wreck and still finished, I think, 14th, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have it pulled up. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, 14th. So it's on the bottom, I know, but I'm impatient. Or the standings, I guess, are about. But to your point, yeah, Legacy's just been good. How about Bubba Wallace, 3rd place, though? After a few, I think he wrecked in like 3 or 4 straight races to come out of there 3rd. And he got a piece of that restart wreck as well. So to overcome that obstacle and get a 3rd place finish, I think he gained like 3 spots in the standings, which is huge.
4.
If Reddick is going to crash and Denny's going to win the race, you got to have one of them 2311 cars looking good. And granted, I don't remember where he finished, but I mean, for a minute, Riley Hurst was even in the top 5. He was even having a good day.
Yeah, he ended up 13th. I mean,
pretty good.
Credit, I know I do agree with replacing him with Corey Heim. I think Heim has, it's kind of to me like a watered down version of Eric Jones being replaced with Christopher Bell, where it's like, there's something there, but it's the right move to replace them.
Yeah,
But
Eric Jones at
Eric
JKR is
Jones-
always one of those like what would have been right now kind of things.
I think it's a little easier decision than that was. All due respect to Riley.
Yes.
He did have a great run this week, but he's getting better. To your point, he's showing real improvement, which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like you guys. It makes sense to replace him in a chartered car. I'm not against him running an open car if they chose to do that. If obviously monster funding is probably there.
Or if he goes to Legacy, which is starting to look pretty damn good at this point, too. I mean,
I think Riley he'll be somewhere full time next year, so I don't think we have to worry too much about that. But I think Heim's a good pick. How about Daniel Suarez, another 6th? He's looking like a legit chase guy. Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, 7th and 8th. Pretty good runs for Penske. They've been quiet lately, so
Spire, you mentioned Suarez. Hocevar up 2 spots and Suarez up 1 spot, 7th and 9th right now. I thought at this point in the season there would be a Spire car in top 10, but not 2 sitting fairly comfortable. Suarez has 418 points. 11th place Bubba Wallace is 378. That's a fairly comfortable gap, to be inside the top 10 at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like every week we kind of think that Spire is going to kind of fall off, or some of these teams will fall off and they don't. And then you got guys that now are starting to run better than they were, like we talked about the Ford ones. I do want to talk about, granted, it was strategy that got him up there and he did not finish there. He kept his streak of not finishing in the top 15 outside of 2 super speedways alive. But Ross Chastain at least looked halfway decent through a lot of the race. Fell back because of having to save fuel, tire disadvantage, 16th place at the end of the day. But I feel like just finishing on the lead lap and not, making an absolute disaster of a race is an improvement for that team at this point, especially with how bad their speed was. Shane Van Gisbergen outside the top 30 for much of the day.
Ross almost keep it straight.
Yeah, Zilich was gone after like 10 laps, and then Ross was 35th, holding up JJ Yaley and almost getting lapped by the end of the first short stint of a stage. So to get up there, take the wins where you can get them.
It's funny what basic things that we would used to expect out of Trackhouse Racing that we are now hanging the banner for.
Yeah, but it does show Ross, some of Ross's strengths, is he's always, I think, been someone who can get more out of the car than you would expect. And I think this was a perfect example of that. They worked on it all day, played some games to get track position, get cleaner air, and 16th when it's all said and done. You're not making the chase finishing 16th, but that's a step up again, considering how bad his teammates were. Which, side note, Connor Zilich, man, the last 3 weeks, he hasn't even made it through the first stage without ending up in the garage. And they haven't all been his fault. This week, it seemed like it was. This week, it felt like typical young driver, knowing the car's not great, trying to do too much, making early mistakes. But golly, his face when they cut to him in the garage after the race after the wreck was, dejection.
I want to say this is where he hit his peak in terms of just the season from hell, because it looked like he's ready for this to be done. But I just don't know if it is done.
3 straight last place finishes. I mean,
it's Alex Bowman has passed him by 30 points, and we know how many races that he missed.
Yeah. And the thing about these DNFs also is, again, they're happening in the first 10, 20, 30 laps. So he's not even getting seat time. He's not even getting to make laps and get that experience. It's not only stunting his confidence, it's stunting his development as a Cup Series driver. So these last 3 weeks, you could just throw him out. They've only hurt his development, unfortunately. So hopefully they can turn things up. Because I think we all still believe in Connor Zilich. I think we all believe he's going to be a very good driver one day.
I just don't know if it's going to happen at Trackhouse for him. So
yeah, he might have to get out of Trackhouse to realize his full potential. But I'm still holding out hope that Trackhouse has a vision, a 5-year plan that will see them get back to the top of the sport. We'll see. But yeah, it's rough right now.
For what it's worth, like I think I saw some concerned Trackhouse fans on Twitter talking about this. I think they mentioned Justin Marks, who probably should be worrying about his team was in like Monaco doing just random other things, anything besides NASCAR at the moment.
Well, he's running the truck race in a couple of weeks, so he's still locked in a little. He's still focused.
Yeah, he's running the truck race for Spire, but God forbid we figure out what's wrong with our Cup cars. I mean,
maybe he's going to learn something from Spire's truck program he can bring over. Yeah, I did see the report that he was in Monaco. I don't know. I didn't see if that was confirmed. He's probably there schmoozing more sponsors, man. They got Kevin Magnussen joining the team in a few weeks. You know, they got
he's schmoozing Danico over there.
He needs Red Bull to renew. That's a big partner. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. Hopefully Trackhouse figures it out, because I hate to see. I didn't know. Like, I don't know if did any of us pick Connor to make the chase. I don't think any of us did. I know
I'll check.
I think we all had him in the 25th place range, and so to see him 35th or 35th,
I didn't have him here, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's neither did I think most people didn't, so that's been very disappointing, unfortunately. While Jarrett's looking that up, can we talk about the big restart wreck? We mentioned Tyler Reddick getting crashed for the first time this whole season.
Really so many big wrecks to talk about in this race, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, only 24 finished out of the entire field. I'm looking at, it was 24th and up, and every DNF, at least via Racing Reference, from 25th to 37th, all were attributed to crash.
Well,
it was a super speedway race.
Yeah, I guess so in some ways. What did y'all make of Carson Hocevar? Was he to blame for the restart wreck, or are people making too big a deal out of?
I mean, it was an unfortunate
classic stack up.
It was an unfortunate move, bad timing. He shouldn't have done it right then and there, but ultimately, yeah, I guess the blame is on him, but it's also just a racing deal, I guess.
Well, I mean, I do think that the line kind of got jumbled up behind Larson, but at the end of the day, he is the one who made the move too late, hit a car again, caused a crash again. I like him, and I think that this is something that he's going to learn over time and get figured out just based on pure seat time. I mean, you got to remember, he's still pretty young when it comes to his career length. So I'm expecting mess ups like that. But it wasn't a good look. I'll say that too. It was definitely, I think, a return to form for a lot of drivers' perspective of it. My thing with the Hocevar deal is he has no incentive to stop doing anything he's doing right now. All these drivers say they're going to say this and do this and whatever. And, I get it. They're not going to cut him any breaks, but do they cut him any breaks really now on the racetrack? Like, it's not until somebody actually goes up and deals with it in person. What incentive does he have, at least that he can see in the here and now, to actually stop racing the way he does, whether it's, aggressive like this or aggressive causing incidents in other areas? Like, that's kind of my whole look on this deal, is these drivers keep complaining about it, but then nothing they do really seems to stick.
I feel like Carson's built himself up like plot armor, because on one hand, you do have to be very careful with how you retaliate on the racetrack. At NASCAR, I still think the Priest penalty for the Gibbs incident was a very sensitive call by NASCAR, in my opinion. That felt like a quick trigger. And then if you do confront him in person, I mean, you go online, you go on social media. Have you checked John Hunter Nemechek's mentions this week? The Carson Hocevar fans are diehard. They are relentless, and there are a lot of them, especially on social media. So if you do go confront Carson Hocevar, I don't know. And if you do cause a wreck, if you bump him out of the way, you're going to get flamed as well. Oh, you're no better than Hocevar. These guys complain about Hocevar, and they do the same things. You're not going to put two and two together that it was retaliation. So he's kind of bulletproof in that regard. I think what Bubba Wallace said this week is the biggest sticking point, is like at the end of that race, Hocevar, he wasn't great on the long run. I think he had a tire starting to cord, was fading at the end, but I think he also knew he'd piss some folks off with that restart move. And maybe, he made that one crazy 3-wide move that almost took Bubba Wallace out. It was a heck of a save by Hocevar, but like, he put himself in a really tough spot. He was waving people by. He was letting Eric Jones go by. He let Bubba go by. And ultimately, Larson, Wallace, Jones, all finished ahead of Hocevar. So he did cost himself, maybe, you could argue, a couple of points at the end of this race because of incidents earlier in the day. So there are little things like that I think are going to start to add up over time. But I'm overall with you. Like, Carson's made a lot of bold moves. I think some have been miscalculations. But like, at the end of the day, we talked about like that Nashville race last year when he punted Ricky Stenhouse. He went on to finish second in that race. This race, I think he caused that. I think he's 80% to blame for that restart wreck. He finished fifth and had the second most stage points on the day. Like, it seems like whenever he's in the middle of this, Atlanta, when he triggered that big wreck at the beginning of this year on a restart, I think he finished top 5 in that race as well, if I'm not mistaken. When Hocevar is in the middle of the action, causing a shitstorm, he's often the one coming out of it unscathed with the most points, the best finish. So, I mean, to your point, yeah, I don't think he's really seen tangible consequences yet for his actions. They may come in due time, but it hasn't happened yet. And so I do wonder if there's much of an incentive there to adjust or adapt. I don't think he needs to fully change. I think at the end of the day, if he's comfortable with other people putting him in bad spots, then keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting people in bad spots. I think as long as he's comfortable with that streak going both ways, I don't think Carson needs to change dramatically. I do think he needs to be a little more calculated, especially on restarts, it seems.
Yep. Yeah. So
I must have been my best take ever. I had y'all speechless there. I had y'all like, damn.
I gave my seat.
I think I think we said all we can on that. Yeah, I think Hocevar. We know him at this point. He's called the Hurricane for a reason, but at the end of the day, he still ran a good race. He's just riding a Dente. We'll just boil it down to that. That's all he's doing out there, just riding Dente.
Maybe not. He said it was the last race with Chili's. Whether or not it's this year or forever, we don't know.
I think he just meant this year. I could see him wanting to do more next year.
I mean, how can you not after the diecast sales?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Can we talk about that for a second, Jared? What was the stat on that? It was the most pre-orders 24 hours after a win. Is that what it was?
Yeah, ever in their relationship with NASCAR since 2010. So that's more than, Dale Jr.'s Daytona 500 or last race. That's more than Jeff Gordon's last race. That's more than Chase Elliott's championship or Kyle Larson's championship. Like this is like peak NASCAR level of sales.
Am I the only one of the story who pre-ordered it?
Yeah, I didn't.
Probably.
I was going to, but I had other things I had to attend to.
I thought about it, but I
pre-ordered the liquid color one because something about that finish and with the black, I think it'll be nice and shiny, look good.
I'll be honest, especially when you see the prints and stuff online from other diecasts, I tend not to pre-order. I like to see it before I get it at this point. Like, have you guys seen the Lionel thing where it's like the Connor Zilic or SVG car where it has 2 88s on the door? And there's a Ryan Blaney car where 2 of the prints got mixed up with each other. So like the front half of the car is a normal 12 and the back half is a 12 with like the chrome color and stuff. And I'm just like, if I saw that in the wild, I'm buying it. I hope you know that. Like I just so I could bring it on here and be like, look what I found.
Yeah, everyone wants the Connor Zilish 8,888 car.
I saw that photo. I didn't see who posted it, but that was crazy. That was a crazy misprint.
What else was crazy was, according to Mike Ford, the hardest hit of the next gen era that Christopher Bell withstood. Here's the footage right here, and God, it's still even watch it back. Wow. It's not easy to watch that footage right there.
God, I have to admit, in the moment, I tend to yell a little bit more while watching races, but that was one where I yelled seeing it. And then I had when you had those chills go down your spine, we're like, oh my God, that looked horrible. Like, and I thought in the moment, man, that had to be one of the hardest hits. And like that, I thought it was on par with Blaney at Daytona like a year or two ago.
It's one of those hits that you see it and you brace yourself to not see a window net come down, honestly.
Yeah, he got out of the car much quicker than I expected, but thankfully he was able to do that. No, I was looking down, and I think I heard probably Dale or Litzhart or somebody go, "Oh!" Immediately I look up, and that was like the moment they impacted the wall. It was like they just twitched, and slipped. It was like split second, and that was one of those that just sort of sucks the air out, where you just go. I'm not a yeller usually. I'm more of just like I fall silent when something stressful is happening. I like lock in, my eyes get big, and I'm like, what's going on? Like I'm not going to vocal. I'm over here like just like I'm like glued to the screen. And I think what really sold it was actually the clip you just showed a moment ago, that in car. Something about just how I don't feel like it felt like the whole centerpiece of the car, not the roll cage necessarily, but like the whole center clip, it just feels like the whole thing shook
Like,
on
look how much
impact.
that window changes in the shot.
Yeah,
here.
like it's
Yeah, I was
just
about to say, yeah.
the shape change of the car on that right side was just like,
And it was a
that
double
replay was
whammy because he
crazy.
hits the wall first, and then Chase Elliott's still flying at full speed at him.
Yes,
I mean,
so
that could have saved Chase from having a worse injury than Bell got, because
True.
if he doesn't have a car stopping him at the speeds they were going, and
Yeah.
you know, I do think it leads to the conversation about the car again, though. I like, one, about the safety, and two, about the racing. On the safety side of it, I know people are going to be like, oh, great, you know, another victim of the next gen car. But to me, if that at those speeds at 170, 180 miles an hour at Michigan, any generation of car, you're getting hurt or worse. Like we've seen it in the Gen 6 era with hits like that, and the COT and on back. So I don't think safety is necessarily as big of a talking point as people are making it, in the sense of the hit itself. For me, it's the car and the fact that they're basically holding it wide open. They're having insane corner speeds. I mean, in qualifying, I think Denny's lap, he was like at 181 in the center of the corner. That is way too fast to have one good racing, but also for just wrecks like that. What if somebody has a flat tire and goes straight into the wall? You're going to have a similar impact that Bell and Elliott were going to have. I think that there need to be some serious looks, not just at the shortened road course packages, but in general, about higher horsepower, about getting slower corner speeds. We can have higher speeds on the straightaways, but we need lower corner speeds. It'll help with the racing, help with safety. It'd be a net positive, in my opinion.
I agree with what Timothy Wolf here says. A crash like that would have been fatal in the 90s for certain.
Yeah, it very well could have been. But I agree with what you just said, Jared, about it sounds counterintuitive that more horsepower and would actually make the cars safer in some ways, or the racing safer. But you're right about the lower corner speeds.
Yeah.
I'll give the car credit, though. This is what it was designed to withstand, were these catastrophic impacts. Like they've talked about, like they had Ryan Newman's 2020 crash in mind when they designed this car. You know, so that's, in that regard, it did its job in keeping Bell largely safe. Obviously, the fractured wrist that we can talk about going forward, but could have been a whole lot worse.
And
So
I'll take a barrier
too
bending over a driver.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I was too in shock after what happened to really pay attention and listen. Did Chase say what happened to him? Did he bobble a car? Did something break? I really kind of missed that.
I think, I don't know if he said it, but on the replay, it looked like he kind of hit a bit of a bump and like was also starting to get a little out of shape. And I think a big part of it too is what these cars really don't have that side force that the other ones, like the Gen 6 and the COT, had. So it's so easy, especially with the way that the steering is now, and how different it's changed since then, that the overcorrections are so immense. All of these factors, to me, it all leads back to the car. And
they're harder to save when they get sideways. And yeah, there's maybe something to them, to how they, you know, the wider stance, lower sidewall, the way they're like, there's maybe things with the car and the horsepower that you wouldn't have seen that dramatic of a twitch and overcorrection in most other. I mean, we have seen it in other cars, but that maybe this one is even more dramatic because of certain car elements. But it was weird because Chase, I guess he got loose, but it seemed like typically when you have a guy on your outside with this package, you almost get tight and push up the track, almost like the nose push up. So it was a little still surprising to see him get loose. I think you're right about that bump. And it was also just after a restart when maybe the air pressures were a little lower and the car is like almost banging against the ground and hit it just in the wrong spot. Either way, it was definitely an accident. I don't even know that he like overdrove the corner all that much. Like he was obviously trying to be aggressive, but like it just seemed like a fluke deal.
It happened so fast that I legit thought like he blew a tire or something broke. Andrew FRC in the chat said that he got loose. He was trying to spin it out, but it hooked back right at the last second.
And I'm saying, but the way that the steering column is now is that it almost promotes overcorrections. And then the aero side of it with the horsepower side of it, it's just the intermediates have good racing, but it's a huge flaw with the car overall. It's just a fundamental flaw. And I don't know if it's something that's easily fixable. I know it's something that NASCAR is going to be looking into, because I guarantee if that scared the hell out of us, it probably scared the people at NASCAR even more to see that and to see what happened with with Bell, which God, I mean, what a trooper, running with. I mean, he has a full cast, or at least had one on his arm in that picture that people put out there of him. Like,
I mean,
damn.
Yeah.
I won't say who, but initially we had received reports that we believed that he was going to be out for a little bit, but ultimately
I was on social media. It was we can say who it was. It was David Bell. Put it on social media.
David Bell had reached out and said that he was under the impression that he was going to be out for a month. But ultimately that was not the decision. Christopher Bell will still be racing. And with that being said, let's kind of talk about the points here, because I really wonder, does this play into this decision a little bit? Because we are in a system now where a driver in 10th can't risk anything happen to a season. It kind of puts the pressure on him to race for the pain a little bit. So here's where we're looking at the points right now. Tyler Reddick, still our points leader. Him crashing and Denny winning the race closes that gap down to just 51 points. That is the closest it's been all year, right, Jarrett?
For a long while, I gotta say. I mean, I can look back, but it's probably the closest since March.
Take out the first 3 races or so, and that's probably the closest it's been all year.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to look back really quick, and I'll let you know.
But but the really thing is he's made up over 70 points in 2 weeks, which he's obviously not going to continue that clip. Reddick had his first DNF of the year, so that's a big reason why. And Denny won back-to-back races. That's
you say that now, but you never know what'll happen.
Well, I'm just saying he's not going to average 35 points per race the rest of the year unless Reddick, crashes 10 more times. That, but which I mean, good
racing, so don't hold him to it.
Yeah, let's hope not. I hope I didn't just jinx or reverse jinx anyone. But yeah, no. To your point, Christopher Bell there in 10th. You can't really see it on this slide. I think he's 81 points to the good. Yep. I definitely think that is, there's some pressure there for him to race through this injury. I will say, even if this was last year's format, since he has no wins, I think that some of that pressure would still be there. Yeah, but I don't know. I hope he's okay. I hope he's not overdoing it. But Pocono is not a physically demanding track by comparison. But if he does get into an incident there, you have the potential to wreck hard. So I hope he takes care of himself.
I just felt like they would at least try to get him to start the race and a relief driver finish it.
They still might.
Get points there.
They haven't indicated that they will yet. But I mean, I think it'd be foolish not to have at least a backup driver there. I mean, these next 3 weeks are a gauntlet for the inside the car side of it, with the shifting that Pocono, San Diego, and Sonoma, 2 road courses, and a track that in some ways shifting is like a road course. Like,
I mean, this would be brilliant to get Brent Cruz some Cup experience.
Brent Cruz, maybe, but maybe like Ryan Truex is on standby at least for this week, or any of the Toyota guys for the most part. If he can get through these 3 weeks and still have a healthy lead and have hopefully healed in that time, I'll feel good, at least him having a week there in Chicagoland, that he doesn't have to do all that work before then heading to freaking Atlanta. I mean, the 4 of the next 5 races are going to be sitting on pins and needles, nursing an injury, but 81 up. I still think he could probably miss 2 or 3 races and still either be in the thick of it or still in the chase. But I understand them wanting to protect the gap.
Yeah. And I think Pocono compared to the next few, Pocono is easing back into the water a little. So if he really struggles at Pocono, then they probably know they need a plan for San Diego and Sonoma, would be my guess.
Pocono, man, you got to be careful, because Pocono is such a high-speed track. Like, you don't want to risk anything happening that could make this injury even worse.
I hear you. I totally agree. So
the important part is, if they're able to get through it and stay in the hunt, I mean, he's only 18 points behind Carson Hocevar there for 7th, not too much further back from Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Chase Elliott. We don't know what issues they could have too. So for him to stay in this battle, this team, the point standings where he's at is not indicative of how fast this team has been. They were leading at Texas when they wrecked. They were running for the win when they spun out at the end in, I believe, in overtime, if not just a green-white checker finish at Kansas. Right there, that's what, 30, 40 points that you could probably spot them that they more than likely get, or at least are contention to get. So they have the speed. They just need the luck now.
And that's also a great point is, even if, he sits out a week or 2 and falls to 14th, it's like, making the chase is not a successful year for Bell. That's the expectation. He wants to be in that
That's
top
bare
5,
minimum.
top 6. Like if he enters the chase as the 14 seed, this is a lost season in many ways by Christopher Bell standards. So I think that's part of also why he's driving the cars, because he wants to, like you're saying, close that gap up to 6th or 7th, because that's within striking distance.
Well, let's take a look at the guys who could maybe potentially have a chance to pass him up in there this period. So, my apologies, I had to sneeze there, fighting that behind the scenes of it. So we're not seeing 12th and 13th right now, but we are seeing 14th and 19th.
Yeah, they have a bit of a gap. I mean, they're like 41 to 49 points up.
Okay.
This is the scrum right now. Like, these are the ones.
Look at Eric Jones. Look at that Jones boy. He's on the graphic.
I wasn't thinking I was going to put Eric Jones on any graphic this year, except like maybe, he was top 20 in points and he was 57 points behind 19th.
I put him in my power rankings today, and someone in the comments says, I believe this is the first time Eric Jones has ever made it into your power rankings. And I'm like, damn, I think you are right.
He didn't even make it like when he won Darlington, or you probably weren't even doing it back then.
I don't think I was. My power rankings are only 2 or 3 years old, so it would have been.
Yeah, you weren't doing it then.
Yeah, but good for him.
And then so Cindric Logano is the big focus. Brad Keselowski, though, I just don't feel
this race.
I don't feel comfortable with him in 15th at this point, too, with Jones doing better, with, we're assuming SVG maybe this week is just get through it, but 2 road courses in a row coming up for him, too. So I wouldn't, if I'm on this graphic, which basically is if you're within 40 points, give or take, of the cut line, I'm not feeling comfortable.
It feels like a Penske car will make it around here. It's just a wonder, is it Logano or is it Kondrick?
I'll tell you who I don't think it's going to be, and it's not a Penske car, but at this rate, Ryan Preece. I know the penalty is making the difference right now. He's the only one. Let me check my notes to be sure here that I'm saying it right, because it blew my mind. He is the only one in the top 20 in points that doesn't have a top 5 this season.
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting stat. And it's funny because he did win the Clash, which I know is kind of a weird race, but yeah, I don't, it's hard not to be concerned with RFK racing right now. Michigan, it's Jack Roush's backyard, it's Brad Keselowski's backyard, and they had 1 car in the top 20. That was Chris Buescher, who is not on this graphic.
Brad still never won a cup race at his home track.
Oh yeah. But I just Preece has been in wrecks a couple weeks in a row. Keselowski's been in wrecks a couple weeks in a row. They just had their problems, and I don't know. They just can't seem to shake. They were so steady, so consistent all spring, and now suddenly, like some of that bad luck, tough spots. I mean, Buescher threw a bad block at Charlotte that took him and Preece out in that race. So some of it's self-inflicted. Keselowski and Buescher, that tag team in Austin Dillon came back to bite him. You could say, like, some of it's their own fault. But yeah, they've been bleeding points the last few weeks, so I'm very concerned about those 2.
4 of these 6 are Fords.
Yeah.
Like, and Ford isn't going to get better. They've said as much. People, Brad Keselowski, among others, has said as much. They're not going to get better until they get a new body, the way that Toyota did, the way that Chevrolet has. We're seeing Chevy improving. We're seeing Toyota is at a high level, and Eric Jones is reaping the benefits of that. But I mean, at this point, Ford's probably just going to keep falling. Like, they're at a disadvantage.
Brad needs Dodge to look at him like the Green Goblin mask does to Norman Osborn.
I will say, like, some of it depends on the tracks, because, like, we just went through a stretch of big aero intermediate tracks. And it's like later this summer, you'll get, a few of your, let me look at the schedule. You got obviously the road courses, which are kind of whatever there.
We'll get some shorter ones.
You got Daytona and Atlanta. That's up their alley. North Wilkesboro, Indy's kind of a special case. Iowa and Richmond and New Hampshire. Back to back to back. Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire. Penske could sweep those races. I wouldn't be shocked. So I do think they're kind of surviving right now. And then here over the next couple months, they have a lot of tracks that are better suited for them historically. So I think Penske's still very much alive.
Well, and I'll say, the only Ford of these ones that I actually see ascending is Logano. This team has shown improvement. They've run top 10 and like higher end top 15 rather than middle of the top 20 and bottom of the top 20 like they had been. They're showing real jumps up, just not major ones yet. So like I can see them doing better. But like,
I mean, it could be this weekend where Logano goes back to victory lane. Never forget, this is where he first showed himself as a Cup Series driver, by winning over Mark Martin the way that he did.
Yeah, I mean, he could. What about ratings? How'd that go?
Yeah, ratings this week, really good, really good. Cup Series race had 2.07 million viewers, which is actually up 17% from 2025's race at Michigan. So that's very, very solid.
And I know it's still kind of convoluted whether they're using the old school panel estimations or panel plus big. Like they're kind of bouncing between old and new school depending on who you ask. So the numbers are like the year to year is positive. That's great, but it is kind of, it's hard to tell exactly by how much depending on.
We'll take the W's however we can get them right now.
Well, I'm going to use the one that everyone else is using, and that it's good for NASCAR right now. It's been bad for them in the Fox portion of the year. I'm not going to accept NASCAR shifting goalposts on this one. Like it's good for them now, and they should take it. But this is the same ratings metric that every other league, every other racing series that it has enough viewers to get ratings is looking at. So this is the one I'm going to take with it, and if it's good for him in the here and now, which it has for Prime, so be it.
It's a good number. Over 2 million viewers for a race at Michigan in the middle of the summer on just an average 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern start Sunday afternoon. That's pretty great. We can officially say Prime is pulling in FS1 numbers or sometimes better, which is they're only in year 2 of this streaming experiment, let's call it. And so it's very encouraging to see not only great coverage from Prime, but also audiences seemingly growing year over year, flocking to the Prime broadcast. That's what we want to see. Like, it gives me hope for the next TV contract that maybe we could really see NASCAR go full on into this new media, into these, because I think I think their time is up. I know we still have 5 more years of this deal and they're going to do their thing, but it's nice to see fans resonating with, new media like Prime Video so far. So that's an encouraging increase.
And another part too, I was reading, and I don't know if it got published with the other parts of it, but all age metrics 54 and under were up year over year as well. So it's not just that it's more people are going to Prime and Prime is now pulling in FS1 level numbers. It's also that it's the target demo NASCAR wants. It's an age group on average that's 8 to 12 years younger than the average NASCAR fan. NASCAR has not had increases in the 54 and under crowd. I checked consistently since 2005. So like that is a major thing to look at moving forward. And if this is something that continues year over year, you're going to see a lot more Prime races on the 2032 deal.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got?
Let's talk about the poll. That's
The
the results we really care about around here. What do you guys think? What do you guys want to vote for in Jarrett's famous poll? 10,000 people voted in this poll. 30% of people said it was a great race. Eric is disappearing from his finger. Hello?
I'm pointing at them. What do you think of this race?
All right. 58% said it was a good race. 88% net positivity. 8% said it was an average race. And 4% of you people are still negative about Denny Hamlin winning this race.
Smudge the lens.
So adding into it too, this was the second highest polled Michigan race of 10. The only one that was higher was last year at 90% net positivity, so still good. And third most positively voted race out of the 17 polled races, including non-point races this year, only underneath Atlanta and Nashville. So positive across the board for the most part with that. Spencer had the first comment, positive, negative, or meme.
He's memeing it up if Denny Hamster's win.
I'll say positive.
Safety is absolutely crucial in not only NASCAR, but in life.
Okay, positive.
I've been on a roll with these after never getting one right in my entire life. I'm like 5 in a row now or something. So I'm rolling with it.
Top one is from SBG, who said next week Hamlin's going to start from the pits a lap down just to flex.
He probably could at Pocono. He probably could.
Maddie says Marcus probably felt that hit more than Bell. Oh, we love Marcus. All love to you, Marcus. Matt says the white flag didn't mean the last lap. It meant surrender from the rest of the field. What a last run by Hamlin. And we raise our M&Ms in honor. Conveniently enough, commenter Kyle here says, great, but I'm not a completely biased Eric Jones fan, though. Alan says, Denny Hamlin at Nashville. Want to see me go back to front and win this race? Denny Hamlin at Michigan. Want to see me do it again?
He's like SpongeBob.
And the gutter comment from Ghosty says, really boring season knowing all the Toyotas are illegal. Leaves a yawn emoji.
They're not illegal.
Wonder what was in the lawsuit for them to be good all of the sudden. Because God forbid that we see dominant forces in NASCAR. I wonder if it was a Hendrick car, if he'd be the same way.
I mean, if it's either the golden horseshoe, it's cheating up Yoders. There's always something. It's NASCAR. A team, a manufacturer has their highs, their lows, their good moments, their bad moments. I don't know. Just ride the wave and wait your turn, because it'll be your turn eventually.
There's Ford at the side being like, hey, how's it going?
Well, no, theirs was every chase for the last 3 years, minus last year. The playoffs, 22, 23, 24. Ford comes to live, and Blaney or Logano cheeses on us.
I thought it was just the internet being upset that Laguna won again.
I'm just saying, that's the weird thing about NASCAR is because even the most popular driver has more people rooting against them on Sunday than rooting for them. So in a way, it's like no matter who wins, you would almost expect there to be more boos because there's probably more people like unhappy than happy. So it's a kind of a weird. It's not like you go to you go to a Tennessee Volunteers game, Danny, and 99% of the crowd is going to cheer for the Tennessee Vols. You go to a NASCAR race, there might be 30% Hocevar fans in the crowd, but that means there's 70% of folks who don't want their guy to get wrecked by Hocevar.
Not when he took the lead this week. That looked like almost
this week
Chase
maybe
Elliott level.
Hocevar might have had 51% of the crowd this week. So. Yeah.
That was a poll.
Nice. What's next?
Yeah, what's next?
Yeah. I'm going to talk about truck race a little bit.
This is a good truck race.
Heim is back.
Did he go anywhere?
Yeah, no.
Every few weeks
he shows up and wins.
Yeah, so he got the win over his old ride. He takes another one away from Caden Honeycutt, and Honeycutt was not very happy after this one whatsoever.
Between Honeycutt and between fans complaining about Heim racing dirty, like I'm sorry, I'm getting really tired of this new trend that like anytime anyone makes contact, it has to be this overanalyzed rivalry. Like that's NASCAR. That's NASCAR racing. They make contact. They got fenders for a reason. Like
I'm not going for a championship in any series. He's just there to win races, you know.
But my thing is like everyone needs to kind of suck it up. Like they made a little contact. Okay, yeah.
He sounds like Corey Heim in the media center afterwards.
He's completely right. And granted, he's been on the other end and not reacted the same way. But it's just in general, like everyone just suck it up.
Yeah,
there's a reason why Corey Heim is going full time with this team, and one's still got to develop a little bit more. So,
well, I think Caden Honeycutt's really good, and I think he's a very good driver, and I get to why he was a little frustrated because down the front stretch there as they took the white, Heim threw kind of two pretty close call blocks, first to the inside and then especially the one to the outside. It looked like they did almost get hooked into the fence, and that would have been a big disaster for Tricon Garage. So I get why Honeycutt's a little like, man, this dude's taking advantage of me because I'm a teammate, because I'm like a younger driver in this instance. It's weird to think someone's younger than Heim, I guess, but I guess Heim's 22, 23. He's not anyway. But yeah, so like I get a little bit of Honeycutt's frustration, but you voice it time and time again. I think it starts to fall on deaf ears, which I think is where Heim's comments about, hey, just grow thicker skin. I think that's where that came from. But what I didn't get as much was Honeycutt also saying, hey, we didn't work together as well. Like, you know, he just passed me right away instead of trying to like work with me to build a gap to host of our. I don't know. Like you're at that point, you're asking too much. Like at that point, Caden Honeycutt, you just got to go out there and drive. At that point, I think I'm with Heim. Like, man, you just got to go out there and get it, you know? And if Heim's going to race you aggressive, now you know, and you got to, maybe next time you don't lift going into turn one. And if y'all wreck, or if Heim wrecks, he wrecks. Like you kind of just at some point have to meet them where they are. And Heim has shown this year, remember he bumped Christian Eckes out of the way for the lead at Bristol and then got wrecked in the next corner. So Heim's like
right here.
He's pushed around. He's taking it. You kind of just got to meet him where he's at.
Honeycutt in a second. Him and Lane Riggs. That's going to probably be your battle this year. They are there's others that can race with them, but every week they're the best ones out there. Mm-hmm. And I said it after the race on Saturday, after listening to Honeycutt mope and just get all down on himself for the umpteenth time. The team isn't going to let him down. They're going to be up front. What's going to let him down is his mentality at this point. We talked about Denny Hamlin in 2010. This is what he sounds like every week. And I get that, you know, there's probably a ton of pressure. This team won so many races last year and the last couple of years, and championship is expected. You know that when you sign up for it. You know that when you go into it. And what I'm afraid of is that going down the wire, yeah, Lane Riggs can show that a bit, and there's immaturity in the truck series in general, and that's what's to be expected. But if I'm asked, like, hey, who do you trust when it's getting really hard and they have to be the most mentally ready to fight for a championship? Lane Riggs or Caden Honeycutt? I'm taking Lane Riggs 34 out of 34 times. Because
it's mainly because of how long he's been in here and in this position at this point.
But it's just that this might be the lesson that Honeycutt learns this year if he doesn't learn it by the time the pressure starts. Like, there's no pressure really right now. Like, there's plenty of time to make up points. There's still plenty of time once the chase for them starts for them to make up points if they start second, because they're going to start first or second. There's really not any pressure yet. And once there is, I can't trust him yet until he can actually seem like he's mentally not down on himself every time he doesn't lead every lap and win.
Remind me, do we have 10 or 12 spots in playoffs and trucks? I can't
10.
remember. 10. Okay. Well, right now, that top 10, this is like the most consistent series in terms of teams that you'll find. Inside the top 10, you've got 2 front row, 2 Tricon, 3 McAnally, and 3 4 Sport. That makes up your top 10. Very consistent.
And I'm not as down on Honeycutt as it sounds like you are, Jarrett. I'm fine with letting a driver vent a little bit. I didn't think anything he said on pit road. His interview with Fox he didn't really bring any of this up. He was more just, you know, I hate that I let this one get away, is what it is. Like he finished a close second. I get it. He's allowed to be a little dejected. It was what he said to reporters afterwards, where he got into more of the nitty gritty. And I'm like, man, you're asking for too much at that point. But like, I just think he's an emotional guy, because we saw he had that insane weekend. I don't remember when it was. It was a few weeks ago when he won the truck race, or he won the ARCA race, truck race, and like a couple Cars Tour races or something in like the span of 2 or 3 days. He was winning every race under the sun for like a whole weekend. And his confidence, he was puffed out his chest. He was through the what am I trying to say? He was over the moon. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think that's okay. If you're a little down on yourself when you lose a close race to the guy who you're supposed to be replacing in that truck, it's okay to be a little disappointed, because when he does win, you know, it's not like, you know, Chase Elliott, I think he's a mentally tough driver, but for a while we wondered, like, man, is Chase even having fun? Because he would be so down on himself when he lost. I hate it for my guys, blah, blah, blah. And then when he won, he barely cracked a smile. At least with Caden Honeycutt, he wears all of his emotions on his sleeves, the negatives and the positives. So I don't really have a problem with him venting a little bit in that moment, because I didn't think he went over the top. I get that it wears thin over time, but I didn't think he got out and was just like, F this, F that. He didn't race me right. Like, I thought it was tame.
No, but it is every time, it seems like. There's always something that's wrong or something down or something like that. And I'm okay with emotion, like covering it. Like it's entertaining to have plenty of emotion. But I take what Denny Hamlin said this week on Action Detrimental. And he was, I think it was talking about Hocevar, but he said, emotional drivers don't last long in this sport because it just
He said Cup
overwhelms them.
specifically. He did say he said Cup specifically.
Yeah,
We're talking about trucks.
but okay, but still, I think the same applies as you go at the highest levels, and if he's going to be like this down the stretch, you're going to have more downs than ups at that point. And if everyone beats you down, Dale Jr. has talked about this in the past. Chase Elliott has went through this, and it seemed like once he got it together, oh, look, he won a championship. He won all of these races. He started doing better. So like this is something that I think he needs to address down the stretch, or it's going to bite him in the ass, and there's no one to blame but him.
Not wrong. I mean, the first driver comes to my mind. You talk about emotional drivers not lasting long in Cup, especially once he got to good equipment. Matt DiBenedetto. We know how kind of an emotional driver he's been, and
Bubba Wallace. Look at him when he got super emotional more than he has been lately, and he has gotten down on himself again, but it's not every week. It's not all the time. He got it under control, and his performance has gotten better.
I think Lane versus Honeycutt's can be really interesting. You said 34 out of 34 times. I would say maybe I'd take Lane 18 to 16 in that matchup. I think it's very close because I think Honeycutt's in a better truck also more consistently. So you got to factor that in as well.
Well, on that note, I think it's right at 8:00 p.m. Central Time. So we've actually hit the top of the hour right in time for a little super chat stage break. If you guys are ready for it. Hold on, let me refresh my tab because it's not actually showing me all of my super chats. Hold on.
A couple of them before we went live won't pop on the screen, but once we get to that, I'll pop them up.
Yeah,
unless Eric, it's on your end.
I'm going back on my end. The first one I have is from the Sloth Nerd, $5. Appreciate that. Bow down to Toyota as I have, despite me driving a Ford-powered car in F-126 right now. He's a Ford fan for life. He said, "Don't pity me." we don't pity you. I used to sell Toyota, so I bowed to him plenty in my days. Jeffrey King went on a little run here, a couple of $2 ones. Appreciate that. Not watching live tonight. Hamlin is really fast. He said Bell is hurt, but he is going to surge late in the year. Could say that. Elliott at Michigan equals Johnson at Michigan. Bad luck.
Yeah. Jimmy had a ton of bad luck back in the day. You never think of it because all the laps he led, but he'd like run out of fuel, get wrecked, blow an engine. It was kind of crazy.
Last message here. Pocono winner will be 24 Byron, he said.
Oh.
I don't know if
I
I quite agree with that, but at least not in the Cup race. But
he does do better when he has O'Reilly starts beforehand.
That's fair.
I've noticed.
Calypso, appreciate hearing from you. Pretty crazy that the first Cars movie came out the same time as Denny Hamlin's first win. Talk about 20 years strong. Yep. APC, appreciate the 909. My first race was awesome. Got to meet Elliott and Carson. It was hot out, though. Chase had a winning car till he crashed out. Well, glad you got to experience your first race. I hope you had a great time. But I think that looks like Chase in the profile picture there.
Nice.
Dragon Zord, appreciate to become a member of DannyB Superfans. Twin Spinner. The San Diego Truck Race having Jimmy Johnson, Justin Marks, Brennan Gaughan, Jamie McMurray, and who knows who else. What year is it again?
Well, what a throwback.
I think I missed the Brennan Gaughan announcement. I didn't even know about that one, honestly.
It was earlier today, I think.
Yeah, it was recent.
Who's he racing for?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not going to lie.
Surely it's a 60. It's probably a 62. That was his number forever.
I honestly forgot. I didn't even see who it was.
Chad, probably, or was it Henderson?
That's got to be Kligerman, right? Unless they're running two trucks. It's the 20. That's right. It's the McAnally, that fifth McAnally truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Below the apron, appreciate the $10. Connor Zillish is the example why rookies need some kind of testing. They are given 20 minutes of practice to learn a drastically different car. It's an excruciating process to learn. Sam can only do so much. Yep, I agree.
Agree on all fronts.
Good of a driver as we know he is, a little bit more would go a long ways for him. It really would.
Definitely.
Snap back to reality. Appreciate the $2 Russian. I don't know what the R is. Denny Hamlin could have had 6 wins already. That's true. He's had a lot of races where he was right there in it. Hunter Nixon, good to hear from you, man. Larson needs to quit being so lazy on restarts too. He's cost himself at least 2 races this year due to his restarts. Yeah, I know it's been uncomfortable, or not uncomfortable, but been been hard for you as a Larson fan. I get that this year. Eyebolt, appreciate the 5. Which 2026 good story finishes higher in their series points? Suarez and Cup or Retzlaff and O'Reilly? Also, hope y'all are having a great week.
Thank you.
I want to say Suarez could finish better than Retzlaff long term.
I'm going to go Retzlaff if he makes the chase. And simply because there's going to be so much better competition packed closer together in Cup.
That's how I feel too. I feel like Suarez is like the 12th best car in Cup most weeks, whereas Retzlaff is usually 9th or 10th, and it just comes down to wrecks and situational stuff. But I'd probably lean Retzlaff. That's a good question. I like that topic.
Yeah.
How are we looking on time? We close?
You need a couple
we're pretty
more.
close. Yeah, probably a few more here.
All right. Hunter Nixon, my buddy at work said he wanted to hear a good joke to make him laugh. I just said Trackhouse Racing.
Come on.
That's a
good
knee
joke, guys.
slapper.
Come on, yeah.
That's a knee slapper.
Knee slapped. You couldn't say it under the table.
I hope we're
Eyeball,
gonna take
appreciate the $5. Riley Herb stats-wise is looking eerily similar to Paul Menard. Had a top 10 before his rookie season like Menard, then took 2 years to get another.
Get hard for Herbst.
They both bring in...
Is that a hard for Menard?
They both bring in money that's guaranteed, so...
You got the alliteration of H.
Yeah.
Snap back to reality. If I'm not wrong, Connor joins Ryan Preece and Josh Berry being the 3 drivers in the 2020s decade to have 3 straight last place finishes.
Ooh.
That probably is the list. Barry playoffs last year, Priest a few years before that. Yeah.
Twin Spinner, appreciate the 5. Despite number 9 getting caught in Bell's crash. It wasn't Bell's crash.
Yeah, hold on. Let's change the
He
wording.
didn't get caught in Bell's crash. He caused Bell's crash. Let's get that one right. Michigan was easily the best race I've ever been to live. Got autographs from Elliott and all the FRM guys. Well, glad you had a good time.
Nice.
You were in the stand, so I guess you couldn't tell how that wreck started.
Yeah.
Snap back to reality. Eric, look at the first or second comment in your NASCAR film room interview with Carson after his Talladega victory. Criminal behavior of yours.
Oh, God. Read the next one. I'll go look it up and see if I can share it on the internet.
And we're going to probably hit it here, so this might be the last one or two.
Iceberg, did you see the video I mentioned on Sunday, the International GT Open from 2018? That impact reminded me of Bell's hit with a worse outcome.
Yeah, I did see after he brought it up.
A couple more here. Another one from Snapback to Reality. Can't imagine if the front clip was from 2022. Yeah, that would have been way worse. Glad they gave that car some crumple space a little bit. Micah Williams, I think that Bell wreck guaranteed. We are not getting 750 horsepower at the big tracks anytime soon.
Well,
Except like I said before, it'll. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
I found the comment.
We wouldn't, or they wouldn't.
I wouldn't say what he said.
Yeah. What's the comment say?
I found the comment in my NASCAR film room with Hocevar after Talladega. One of the top, actually the top comment is, oh, and it's from Snapback to Reality. So that's why he asked me to say this. I saw it at the time. No mention of Hocevar's Dex New Hampshire season 2 win is criminal. That is the top voted comment under an official NASCAR YouTube video. Thank you for that. Snapback to Reality.
That is great.
I'm going to end off on 2 more just because they're kind of related to each other and they're right here on my screen. Chris John, 45. God, I wish NASCAR could put every cup race on Prime. And then Ryan Idiot said, next TV deal needs to replace cable with streaming.
Cool by me.
I mean, get rid of cable entirely. If you can do like Daytona on Fox, Prime for everything else, and then like, I don't know, put the Brickyard on NBC.
Give me Dale Jr. calling the 500. What are we talking about?
I mean, I'd take Prime for the whole thing, but if Fox is like, no, we must have the Daytona 500. We've done it for 25, 30
That can be their
years.
only race. Fine, take it and put all your money into it.
For a little extra premium, give me a Prime alt cast option even. I don't care.
I'll pay for it.
Yep. Cool.
All right, what's up? What's up next? I feel something in the air.
Yeah, it's been storming a little bit this week, and we've had some big rains, but I think it's time for the other one. It's coming in right now. Lightning round. Oh, it's just started, but
That was a quick strike.
The NWP channel, of course, is linked down below at NWP Clips, where we connect all of these episodes. So if you miss it, it'll still be on your subscription feed. If for some reason you don't want to subscribe to the three of us, you dang jackwagons. As of now, the email for weekly podcast guest at gmail.com is open if you want to sponsor any segments or anything with the NWP 400. July, we will have a lot more details in tow for that event as well. As for some news, RCR is planning Austin Hill in the 33 the rest of the year. Kyle Busch was originally set to return to the 8 car in 2027. That was also announced in that press conference. The press conference was supposed to be for that. On happier news, though, Cars is set to be back in theaters in September, celebrating the 20-year anniversary of the movie. I can't believe it's gotten to the point that I can remember 25 years ago.
What a great 31st birthday present for me in September.
It might actually come out around, because I think it's supposed to be around the start of September, so it might time out perfectly for you.
We're going to be going down to Orlando and staying a few nights in one of the Disney properties there. And I know at Disney Springs, they've got that AMC theater where you can like order food and it gets brought to your place. So if they're playing that, I might have to find a night where the night whenever we do like Animal Kingdom and you only do that for like so much a day, and you have your evening to yourself, that might have to be something we look into.
Yeah. And then next week will be on Eric's channel, June 17th, 8 p.m. Eastern. And that, I believe, is the lightning round.
Yeah, and honestly, for headlines this week, we don't have much. It's just some news that come out today. It's not news that we're shocked per se to hear, but it is another cog in the silly season wheel, and that's Josh Berry. Hendersonville boy, our hometown man, Jarrett, will not be racing for Wood Brothers Racing in 2027. Honestly, before we start talking about what's next for Wood Brothers, I mean, at this point, like I consider it just an accomplishment that he even won a Cup Series race. Honestly, I really do. I don't know. You know, he was originally brought in, you know, through Stewart Haas Racing, and then came to Wood Brothers. I don't know if I see another opportunity for him at this level. I really don't.
So I think it's definitely murky. I know that Jordan Bianchi talked about him going either maybe to front row, or maybe one of the lower Cup teams that might have an opening, or go back maybe to JRM in the O'Reilly series. But I'm not surprised at all.
Models for, you know, I don't know.
Well, I'm not surprised at all by this. I think that when you look at his season and when you look at outside of that win in his career, it's been pretty awful. I think I saw like his DNF rate due to crashes. Like he's crashed out of over 25% of his Cup starts. He has more DNFs so far in his short career than Kevin Harvick got in like his first 550 starts.
Well, I can give you the numbers. It was 10 DNFs last year, 9 or 2 years ago, 10 with Stewart Haas, 9 last year, and he's on pace for, I think he's on a 10 DNF pace for this year so far.
Yeah, and I'll list to you too, again, 2 lists here. The people he's around in points right now are all guys that either are going to be replaced or would be replaced if they were in different situations, and still might be. Riley Herbst, Austin Dillon, John Hunter Nemechek in front of him, and then behind him like Ty Dillon, Alex Bowman, who's missed a number of races. I'll list you off as well the number of I'm just making sure I look through and get this right. The number of full-time Ford drivers behind him right now. That's the list. He's the lowest.
That's right. Cody wears a Chevy now. Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Cody wears a Chevy. Cole Custer's a Chevy.
Yeah.
This makes complete sense. I wish he had done better. He seems like a nice guy, but the performance just isn't there.
This feels like a decision that's been set up because Wood Brothers might have their guy in mind already, more so than Barry knows what he's doing next year.
They're thinking love.
Well, their statement today implied they made it sound like they'll have an announcement in the near future, I believe is the words the Wood brothers used in their statements today. So that does indicate they might have a deal done.
Before we speculate on who we think could go to the 21, let's just say hypothetically that Barry is going to stay in Cup. I'll go first, then Jarrett, then Eric. Let's hear from you guys. What Cup ride could you realistically see Barry sticking around in? And I'll just say the 4 because I don't think Noah Gragson is cutting it either.
I'd say the 4 is about the only one that makes sense because I don't see anyone leveling him up. And the 4 I don't think is a level up, at least at this point. It'd be a lateral move at best.
Yeah, and I just don't know if they would even. Josh Berry's in such a tough spot because he doesn't bring any sponsorship that I'm aware of. And I mean, I was looking at the numbers just a minute ago to refresh myself. If you combine the last 2 years, you could argue he's been better than Harrison Burton was the 3 years Harrison was in this car. So I can't tell. I've never been 100% sold on Josh Berry. I think I've talked to you guys about this. Like, even go back to his time at JRM. He was really good those last couple of years, won a couple of races both seasons, but he was never like Noah Gragson levels of good in the O'Reilly series. And now we're talking about Berry replacing Gragson in the 4 car. Like, are we sure Berry's better than Noah Gragson? It's just so hard to tell. Like, I think Ford's having a down year. The Wood brothers, via Penske are having a down year. I mean, the Wood brothers haven't been good in 5 or 6 years. I mean, when did Matt DiBenedetto, did he make the playoffs one year or was like a spot short?
He did make it.
In 2020, I think.
They had some good moments. I think they made it with Paul Menard one year.
But like, it's been since the calendar flipped to 2020 and into the 2020s, it has been a downward spiral for the Wood brothers. So I think Josh Berry is a solid race car driver, but he's not someone who's going to come in and transform your program. So if everyone kind of feels that way about him, I feel like front row is probably the only Cup seat that could open up. If he even goes down to O'Reilly, again, the funding issue. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Motorsports, I mean, Raja is not full-time because of funding. Carson Quapple's not full-time because of funding. Like, I don't know. I know Josh Berry and Dale Jr. go way back, but can they even get him a full-time seat if he doesn't have funding? Like, what?
I don't think Junior Motorsports is in a position where they can just move the developing careers of younger guys around just to bring back their old friend.
Could he be in one of the RCR cars? Because I think that it's going to be Jesse Love. I think it's going to be Jesse Love in the 21 in Cup. Like, I think that it lines up pretty well with the current kind of timeline of Wood brothers. Probably had a driver in mind for a while. All of a sudden now Love is starting to lose a bunch of Cup time and isn't in the 33 in any races with RCR. It just kind of makes sense. He's moving on. A ton of teams are talking to him as well. And I almost think, what if we have a driver swap almost? And you have RCR that's pretty much fully covered with sponsors. Josh Berry, again, can be pretty serviceable. If not good, he'll probably get a few wins, you would think, with that equipment. So put him in the 21 or the 2 down in the O'Reilly series, especially if Austin Hill is moving up to the 33. And you're going to have vacancies there too. So maybe that might be what happens.
Jesse Love would be an interesting one. One that's not really being talked about is, of course, one, I talk about a lot is Alex Bowman. If he's not going to, some people speculate he'll retire. I don't know if that's going to happen because I don't even know if he'd still be back racing if he was really looking to do that. But if a Bowman come in there, that's definitely a driver that's coming in with the most Cup Series wins of any driver coming into that team in a while. So that's one that I wouldn't rule out because even for a little bit, I felt like before Austin Cindric started to prove himself a little bit more, I started to wonder, could Bowman look at going to Penske, but maybe just go to the second best option in that camp?
Well, and then there's the options of Lane Riggs and Chandler Smith that have been brought up too.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, I'm just gonna say I don't like anyone in the 21 car. Like, the 21 car right now is just such an enigma. Because like I said, it's been bad outside of Las Vegas last spring and that one Daytona race where Parker Retzlaff pushed him to the dream. Outside of those 2 races, Wood brothers, Darlington, Harrison had a really good Darlington race. I remember in his father's throwback scheme. Outside of those 3 races, the Wood brothers have been trash for 5 or 6 years now. They're a Penske car, but they're not really. they're like a development team. They've got, Miles Stanley comes in, kind of a rookie, he's a Penske engineer. We're going to give him his shot as a crew chief. And, he won a race early on a fuel call, a tire strategy call at Las Vegas. Felt like the right move, but I don't know. Their pit crew, I imagine they have the fourth pit crew. It feels like when, Blaney needs someone new, it sometimes comes from front row. Maybe it comes from the 21. Like, I just don't know. If you're a top prospect like a Jesse Love, I don't think the Wood Brothers is a better option than Legacy Motor Club at this point. I don't think I do. I think Legacy's on an upward trajectory, and I think the Wood Brothers are the weird fourth child that Penske seems to forget about or only uses for their
where's the opening? But where's the opening? Because if Riley Herbst is very heavily implied to be going there to get rid of Eric Jones, John Nemechek could be an option, but he's signed.
Legacy. Well, hold on. Legacy may not be an option. You may be right about that. We've heard reports that Jesse Love has multiple interested teams. I'm assuming Legacy could be one of them, but they might not be. If that's not on the table, if Herbst is taking that seat, then maybe there is. If the options are front row and Wood Brothers, okay, I might go Wood Brothers because at least there is the Penske alliance. You hope that develops into something down the line. But I don't know. I feel like the 21, it was a dead end for Harrison Burton. It seemed like a dead end for Josh Berry. It was a dead end for Matt DiBenedetto, a dead end for Paul Menard. Like, the last guy to get in the 21 car and then go do something with his life was Ryan Blaney. And that was a decade ago. So I don't know how I feel about the 21. It just kind of feels like it's there. So I don't know.
It's the forgotten, like, ugly stepchild at this point. And even with Blaney, I will add, he was always set to be in that Penske car. So that was at that point, basically a Penske car.
It was
so you have to go. You have to go further back. Like it is the forgotten child at this point. And we can keep saying, well, it's this driver's fault and this driver's. And it's like, I think we're all kind of coming to that realization that it's just the team. It's the car. They're kind of back where they were in the 2000s.
Really, one could argue that this thing's probably already gone if it's not for Trevor Bayne saving it by winning the Daytona 500.
Shoot, I don't know. Maybe.
It could have. I mean, they didn't have the safety nets they do now.
They were part-time back then, so.
Here's something sick and twisted to think about. Jesse Love still drives a 21, but the 21 is already an O'Reilly number of RCR, and RCR just buys up the Wood Brothers charter to get a third team out there.
That's a lot of hoops they're jumping through at that point. I don't know.
That would send some major shockwaves for sure, too.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget, RCR, he about threatened to find another charter and keep Tyler Reddick racing for him if he had to. He was planning on it.
It's just, let me love you. That's what it feels like. No, I have a feeling that the next couple of weeks before we get to the off week, we're going to see some pretty major moves starting up, because it seems like behind the scenes, at least by the way that like Bob talks about it and Bianchi, that it does seem like there's moves that are really starting to be made now. And it's probably going to be a lot of moves, I would think.
Well, with that being said, some moves to make is us on predictions.
Yeah. So some fun.
Each week, every host will make 2 NASCAR, motorsports, or show-related predictions. Predictions are kept track each week in our accountability session. We try to keep predictions relatively concise and within only a few years. Jarrett, what are we looking like on the rest of it? And there's no money in here. Eric had nothing. Jarrett had nothing. Danny had nothing.
Damn.
No one wanted to participate.
This is the easiest week of graphics I have had in years.
All right, and that was boring. Let's just get straight to random driver. I mean, come on. I'm just kidding.
There's your results. Are the same as last week.
Yeah, I mean, for real. So, with that being said, let's get straight into it. Looks like Eric, you'll be picking first.
I have a number of directions I could go with this. I feel like one of my predictions is too much of a layup, so I'm going to shelve that one. And instead, I'm going to go with kind of a boring one, but it's Pocono related. He's won here 7 times. If he doesn't have a rock out in the infield yet, he should. I predict Denny Hamlin will finish first or second on Sunday. Keep the streak going.
I'll keep it going. I'll keep it going with an ended streak. Pocono's winner will not have to be starting in the back of the field this week.
And okay, that's almost a layup, but I'll say it's okay.
Okay, how about this? Both series, both O'Reilly.
Sure, I know you
I'll
can
add
do your
Arca to
first
it.
prediction. You can do your first prediction because
let's
it has
add some flair to it. Let's add some flair to it. I'm cool with not doing layups. Like let's do like
I don't know
all
if it
of
was a
them.
layup. It was like a little bunny, a little small 5-footer. I don't know.
Let's do both the top two series then, O'Reilly and Cup at least, because I do want to add a little flair to it.
That's probably good.
And they can yell layup at me all they want. It's fine.
I think maybe they're saying your first one was. I think it was a little. I don't know. It's okay, but yeah, I like your second prediction. That one's good.
Let's do that one then instead.
Mine could be layupy, but it's also not guaranteed, and it could happen this weekend. It could happen later in the season too. But I will say that Denny Hamlin will win 3 consecutive races at least once this season. So it could be this weekend. It could come later.
Okay. This one's kind of a silly one. I wasn't sure if I was going to save this one, but I was kind of having a hard time coming up with non-layup. Like I was trying to come up with a creative prediction. So I'm going to jump ahead a few weeks. Guys, you remember the in-season challenge? That's happening again. Starting I think this weekend might be when the seeding gets finalized. I could be mistaken. And then Sonoma will be the first race, I believe, of the in-season challenge. So I'm going to go out there and say this guy, he might be the number 1, number 2 seed. I think Denny Hamlin will be a first round exit in the in-season challenge.
Oh, I like that one. All right.
That's fun.
We might be more layupy on the first round. I'll do a fun one on the second round. He's fallen back in the points for the truck series, but I'm going to make the prediction with the slate of tracks remaining. And let me just read them off really quick because I think they line up good for him. They are 2 road courses with San Diego and Lime Rock, short tracks and under a mile the rest of the way in North Wilkesboro, IRP, Richmond, and New Hampshire. So I'm going to say that even though he's a ton of points back right now, Ty Majeski will be a top 5 seed in the truck series chase. I think he's going to make up a ton of points at a very strong point of the schedule for him. If you look at his finishes, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. He's not consistent at all. I do think that he bucks that trend in the final 6 or so races.
Okay. Yeah. It's a good call. He's got a lot of ground to make up. You're right, though.
He does. He does have a ton to make up, but I want to go a little off base with it.
Kind of going back to our last conversation, I think I'll just say it. I think the early rumors are wrong, and I'm going to just say Alex Bowman will race for Wood Brothers Racing in 2027.
He's really trying to will this into existence. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
Hey, that's why the predictions. You either right or you're wrong. So
yeah, you got a 50-50 chance if you look at it that way.
Yeah,
right or wrong.
Well, I could be 100% wrong, and they're just laughing at me like, no, we're not considering that bum. What are you talking about?
One could say you have a 50-50 chance at random driver of the week too.
I've got more of a chance if you look at the stats, honestly.
It's a 33% chance because Jarrett could stump us. So yeah, there's multiple outcomes.
Okay, but it's close to even with you guys. But Danny is leading 43-40 right now. He has 3
saddle here.
Yeah, he has 3 of the last 5 in Austin Cindric, Danica Patrick, and Brian Scott. Eric has Lake Speed, and I got you all on Jim Roper. So 43-40. Let's jump on into it, y'all.
Bye,
and then
chat.
hide the chat. I'll have the chat ready on my end. How about that? I also have the sounder ready to go just in case.
Got my notepad ready.
This random driver was born in Melbourne, Florida.
Ooh,
Florida man. I love how the
Florida driver, so it could be a lot of people.
Well, I love how they're leaving all of these guesses before I even put a prediction out there or a clue out there. This random driver grew up though in Texas. So if you want the 2 wildest states to go in that aren't like West Virginia, there you go. This random driver,
West Virginia, that wild?
a din bread.
Well, okay.
Well, one could say it's a little wild, but stays within the lines. This random driver's family runs a charity to support families adopting domestically. So good
Very
people.
nice.
Good people.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good cause.
This random driver is currently a real estate agent.
Ah,
Yeah, but a lot of guys who gave up on it are this now.
Many either have forgotten about or wonder what happened to this
Dylan
random
Kwasniewski.
driver. Dylan Kwasniewski.
Oh,
Is wrong.
that name came across. I thought
He is
about
a real estate agent. That
Yep.
definitely applies to him.
I knew what I was doing. Put it out there, and
Dang, I thought I had it.
I'm gonna throw out a guess.
yeah, what's you
Quinn
got?
Houff.
Quinn Houff.
Okay.
Wrong as well.
One
I don't know where he's
more,
from.
James Busher.
James Busher.
Correct.
Oh, what the hell?
If it wasn't Dylan, it's him. Those are the two
Oh
great
my god!
real estate agents of NASCAR.
That was
How I think
great.
drives a truck now.
I didn't even know James Busher was a real estate agent. What the heck?
Mhm. And his last
wait, he's
NASCAR
here?
race.
So he's from? Is he from Prosper? Is he from like Texas? Is he? Because maybe if I'm in the market for a house sometime in the future, maybe James Busher will be my real estate agent. I'm gonna seek him out if he's here in North Texas.
Let's
look this up.
see.
Where's James Busher?
Well, where's he currently at?
Is he any good? Can he give me a good deal?
I mean, based on like the pictures I saw on his Instagram, I was looking him up, like the vacations that him and his family take. I think he's doing all right.
I think he's in Houston. If this is the right James Busher, he's down in Houston now.
Yeah.
And also from later on in it,
cheer dad these days.
his final NASCAR race was actually at Daytona in 2021 in the trucks.
Forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember because we're like, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. And then it's like, and we'll never hear about him again at the racetrack. And he's still pretty young. One of the craziest wins though ever was that Daytona O'Reilly series when he had.
Yep. When he was in
Oh,
the
yeah.
30
Everyone
car.
crashed and he just come right on through.
I just remember watching that.
Busher in the 30 car.
I remember watching and just thinking like, I'm like, Kyle Busch is gonna. Oh, he cried. Kurt Busch, no. Tony, no. And I'm like, who the hell is gonna win it? And then I remember just thinking, who the hell is James Busher?
Was that the same? When did he win his Truck Series title? That same season? I don't remember.
I wonder because I think with titles, if they're closer to, I don't put the year down just because I don't want to. Yeah, I didn't put the year down. The chat says 2010, 2012.
Yeah.
They're saying 2012. Yeah.
I'm looking at his profile, his real estate profile. He's got 4.87 out of 5 stars. That's pretty good, I think. With enthusiasm and determination, realtor James Busher races towards success for buyers, sellers, and investors throughout Greater Houston. It lists that that he won the 2012 Camping World Truck Series Championship.
It's funny how when you mentioned real estate agents, my first thought was those two. But when you mentioned the fact that people wonder what happened to him, I thought more of people thinking about Kwasniewski because Kwasniewski had way more hype for his career.
Yeah. I just realized I might have just unknowingly started Eric's house hunt.
If I move back to Houston, I will look up James Busher, no doubt.
Well, one thing you have unknowingly done is give me by far the biggest lead that anyone's ever had in Random Driver. I'm now up 44-40.
I'm in a slump, man. This is not good.
But I need Jarrett to get us one more time before I get to 50.
Danny's just going to keep throwing it if he gets a big enough lead. No,
I'm going to get to 49 and just be like, Buster Magoo.
You're just going to be trying to throw me off the scent at that point.
Well,
Todd Blue.
I know. That's a good reference.
That's a
good reference. No, are we ready to head to the Tricky Triangle, the mountains of Long Pond?
It is a little, it's got 3 angles to it. Yes, it is a triangle indeed. Pocono. Here's some notes for this weekend, guys. Casey Mears driving the Beard number 62 car this weekend. Danny Dye is in the Live Fast 78 Cup car. Cole Custer driving the SS Greenlight number 0 car in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Connor Zilish will be back in the 1 for JRM. Carson Quaffle in a 9 for JRM. Raja Karoof is in the 32 car for Jordan Anderson. Nick Sanchez will be in the number 87 car in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and William Byron will be racing for Junior Motorsports in the number 88. So we only have 2 series racing this weekend. We got the O'Reilly Series and the Cup Series race. The Cup Series race is the Great American Getaway 400. This is a 160-lap race. It's broken up 30 laps in stage 1, 65 laps in stage 2, and 65 laps in stage number 3. It's scheduled to start at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch it on Prime. You can also listen to it on MRN and Sirius XM. The defending winner of this race is Chase Briscoe. And the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race is the MillerTech Battery 250. This is a 100 lap race. It's broken up 25 laps in stage 1 and 2 and 50 laps in stage number 3. That one's going to start at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, you can watch it on the CW and listen to it on MRN and Sirius XM Radio. The defending winner of this race is Connor Zilish.
And his crew chief was in that one?
It was Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Probably the last time we can say defending winner for him too, ever.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Vorcast from meteorologist Jeff Vorick. His written description, of course, you can see his graphic on screen there, but his written description is Pocono, some of the active rainy pattern a lot of the U.S. has been seeing is bringing impact to the Pocono weekend. For ARCA on Friday, they will likely be racing the rain again as a complex of thunderstorms races across Pennsylvania late in the afternoon through the evening. Some storms may bring damaging wind gusts and hail along with lightning and torrential rain. Activity winds down by later Friday night, so campers won't need to endure an entire night of rain. But Saturday is about as good as it gets. Highs in the upper 70s and manageable humidity. So that sounds very pleasant in my opinion. But on Sunday, it does get interesting. Mind you, we are 4 days out when he has sent this to me, so details aren't as clear as Friday's. But the day starts out dry, much like Friday. There will be a complex of storms moving eastward late in the day. The day won't be a wash, but if timing speeds up, Cup could be racing the rain. He would not rule out the start time being moved up, but he'll keep updating the timing as we get closer. Similar severe weather to Friday is not out of the question, but those details get clear by the weekend. Make sure you are following Jeff Vorick over on X if you want to stay up to date. He's always updating his radar images and his forecast throughout the weekend. That is at Vorcast WX over on X. So be sure to give Jeff a follow. I'm the points leader again. Oh my goodness. I keep going from basement to the lead, 272 points. Eric is second, 3 points back. Jarrett, you are third, 5 points back. And Chat, you are now back in the basement, my friend, 7 points back.
All right. Which means the chat leads us off. Yay.
Chat.
What you got for the O'Reilly Series race, Chat? Who's going to win?
They're debating. They're like, should we go Zilich? Ooh.
There's the first one for the one, I see.
I already know who they're picking for Cup at this rate.
I think it's Allgaier. I'm seeing a lot of 7s.
Definitely seems like they're leaning 7.
Really?
I'm shocked, but they're going 7.
All
so
right.
Give them Allgaier.
Yep.
I'll go Connor Zilich.
Jarrett goes Connor Zilich. What do you got, Eric?
I feel like in that regard, and this car has been a little weird this year, but I think I got to go William Byron then.
That was my 1-2 was Zilich and Byron. I was honestly like, oh, I'm going to get Byron this week.
Yeah, I had all those, of course. So I'm going to go with Corey Day.
That's a good one.
Sweet deal. All right.
So, Chat, who's going to suck on the Cup race?
We could probably give ours while we wait for them. I'm going with Ross Chastain. It's just easy pickings right now. Do I do suck based on just sucking in general, or suck based on like I don't even think he'll finish in the top 20?
It's all relative. It's, suck for
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin would be 12th,
Yeah.
Suck for Ross Chastain would be like 30th.
Yeah, basically. So you're saying Ross is going to wreck. Not you're just saying
That's the way his seasons went.
Going to be slow.
Eric, you got anybody in mind?
I mean, I was going to go Zilich. That seems too obvious.
I mean,
That's what the chat's doing.
That's what chat's doing.
Oh,
so.
well, there you go. Case in point. Too obvious. I'm
It
going
was
to go
either
Josh
him or
Berry.
Cody Ware, so
I'll go Josh Berry. This announcement's probably low for morale, bad for morale this week.
I've got Josh Berry as well. It's not a good week for Berry boy.
All
Cup
right.
underdog. Chat, be thinking about who you got. Jarrett, who do you think's your underdog?
Eric Jones. I think he could be a solid top 10 guy. And you know how fuel mileage and stuff can be at Pocono if it hits the right way. Who knows what could happen? Especially with rain too, possibly.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Someone really just said Tyler Reddick. Maybe they meant Jones.
Yeah, maybe there's a typo. Yeah, they're all going Jones as well. That's a very good pick. I'll go Daniel Suarez. Seems like he just keeps showing up top 10. And this is, kind of similar to Michigan. He was 6th. So I'll go Suarez.
Chet going with Eric Jones. I'm going to go Riley Herbst as my underdog.
I like that. It's a good
I could
pick.
see a top 15, maybe even top 10 run.
Yeah.
I thought about saying Joey Logano because we saw last year it was sort of fuel and tire strategy won the race for Briscoe. And I feel like Joey Logano is always on the front end of whatever strategy. But yeah, good picks.
Chat is getting ahead of themselves. They're already picking their cup winner. I'm seeing the Hamlin starting already.
Give him a second. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I kind of figured it'd be Denny. So I'll go with my number 2 pick. I think this guy's been pretty good when it comes to keeping up at the faster tracks. This team's getting better as it goes. Argue he could have won or probably should have won Michigan. I'm going to go Chase Elliott.
Oh, man.
I like how Eric's even in the chat putting 11.
I like to be a part of something bigger than myself. I like to be part of a movement.
So you went with Chase Elliott, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Dang, I really wanted Chase Elliott this week. I picked Larson like 3 weeks in a row because I'm always like picking 3rd or 4th, and it's just made sense and he's done well for me. He keeps running top 5.
Yeah,
but I'm tired of picking Larson, so I was really hoping to get Chase Elliott this week. I'm gonna go Tyler Reddick.
No, you stop. So you are gonna stop spamming the Larson button for a week.
Yeah, I mean it worked for me last week. It didn't work for me at Nashville because of that tire issue. I don't know. I'm just tired of picking Larson, so I'm gonna go Reddick.
Y'all left me the defending winner of this race, Chase Briscoe, right there for the taking. So I'm taking Chase Briscoe.
Oh, I just realized that one dude on Twitter is going to roast me alive for being the only one to not pick a Toyota.
You're done.
Jarrett doesn't know wheel. What is this crap?
That is my favorite running gag on Twitter. Like, I hate Twitter for the most part, but like when I see, I think it's like Cloudy something on there. I can't remember his username completely. Every time I see that, I'm like, this just brightens up my morning.
It does make me giggle a little every time.
Oh, man. All right, we'll see how they do this week.
Yeah. So on that note, we'll get back into super chats end of the night here, and I'm going to read this one off early because it's going up to feed now. Fred Dog sent in $10 here. Brockbeard is celebrating his 20th anniversary on YouTube next Tuesday with a live stream. We should congratulate him by doing an NWP raid like we sometimes do after Iceberg streams. Have a good week. Yeah, I agree with that. I know we can't really like send y'all there because we don't do anything on Tuesday nights, but y'all go be there. Celebrate Brockbeard. He's been doing this for a long time, man.
Yeah, 20
awesome.
years. That is a true YouTube pioneer right there, still going strong. So that's awesome. Huge respect.
Picking
And
back
he's
up
an
where
awesome
we left
person.
off. Picking back up where we left off. Palm Tree 82. Let me get back up there to it. I had it for
It's on screen for you.
I like to find it, man. Trying to run laps around Coronado iRacing. Props to the pilots who land on that motocross track, and props to any driver who completes that race with a clean car. Can't wait to watch in person. Yeah, it has way more bumps in it than I thought it would. It has some very narrow sections, and then it has some places that's just it's so incredibly wide, and all of a sudden it'll do like a short corner S that like narrows up. So it's going to be an interesting and wild track from the looks of it. And we're going to have to figure out a shortcut for caution laps because that's going to be so long.
You wanted Road America back. We brought their cautions back.
Yeah, basically. Chris John, appreciate $10. I love Prime because I can afford it, especially as a college student who works during the school year. My dad told me how much his cable package was, and it made me shudder.
Yeah, and I think they do like a lot of student discounts for like college kids and stuff as well. I know I used to have
because
that.
Amazon's such a necessity, honestly, as a college kid, especially needing to get stuff to your dorm quick and stuff like that. Used to be the only way you could go get your books, basically, but now I don't even know if they care about books anymore. It's all on a computer now.
I find it crazy. People older than me are paying hundreds of dollars for their cable. Like, I think YouTube TV, like having to pay $83 is too much. And they're like, my cable bill's like $250. I'm like, why? Well, I'm comfortable with it. And it's like, I mean, I'd be comfortable with $200 more,
Pay for YouTube TV, and I got like 80 something a month for AT&T fiber, and I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Casey Rose, Honeycutt looks like a young Jarrett Short. I'm not gonna lie, I see it. I thought that you two look kind of similar.
Well, especially like my face is thickened up a little bit too, so like I have like a very similar face look now. So I mean, look at me when we started this show and when I weighed like $160 soaking wet, and I look way different. But now that I'm like a grown ass adult and not like 19, 20 years old, I do kind of look more like him, I'll admit.
Yeah. Another one from Casey. Wood Brothers about to take that monster money. He's implying that Riley Herb's going to go there.
Oh, that'd be so cursed. The Monster 21.
Haven't?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I feel like they've had Monster on a 21 with the Menards deal before in the past. I feel like Monster was on the hood of it.
You might be right.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
so that's been on there before.
I like everyone in the chat being like, it happens. I know, man. I know.
Indy Carson versus NASCAR. Hey, NWP, Michigan, ARCA, Cletus on pole, but shortened by rain. Trucks, Cletus, stay in ARCA for now. Congrats to Heim Time, even though he's overrated, but he's won on 22 trucks, which is very rare company. We'll come back to snap back to reality. Let's keep going with Indy Carson. Cup, congrats to Denny tying Rowdy, but man, I hate it for Bell and Elliott, who I think had best cars. IndyCar at St. Louis, happy for Newgarden. This is the worst green flag time any car's ever done. I fell asleep listening to this race, but yeah, I would agree with that. The rain didn't do no favors there in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay. The R, Snapback Reality explained, is Brazilian Reis. I guess that's how you say that.
The more you know.
Butchering another word. Bailey Reichert, appreciate that. Zilich has finished last 3 races in a row, and Cody Ware still can't pass in points.
Philip, chat.
Philip, did you see 12's Newman throwback jaw dropping? Yeah, I seen before they actually unveiled it. There were some people on Twitter who seen this car with stuff over top of it to kind of hide what it was, and people kind of guessed it was a Ryan Newman throwback to his 2008 all-tail paint scheme, and they were right. That's exactly what it was.
I'm
really
popping
good
on the screen real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. It's unusual to run a throwback at Pocono, but I like it.
I think in the video, Blaney had said that like, yeah, we're gonna do it in the throwback race, and then they got rid of it, so it's like just turned out to be perfect.
Yeah, I like it. It's a site of Ryan Blaney's first career Cup Series win, so makes sense to do something cool like that. Two guys named Ryan just driving 12 for Roger Penske.
I gotta say it does work really well in the next gen body too. But to be fair, COT era had amazing paint schemes for anybody. Like I think that I personally don't like the 08 to early 2010 COT or 07 to early 2010 COT, but the paint schemes were legit, man. They were great.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
All tell that brings back old school members. I think they eventually got bought by Verizon, and that's why you saw the Verizon car suddenly come to the 12 in the next few years.
The Verizon car that couldn't be Verizon because of the Sprint
It
deal,
could,
so it
it
had to
could be
turn to
Verizon
Penske.
and Nationwide. It couldn't be Verizon and Cup.
It was I remember
But
seeing
everyone
it.
knew what that check mark was.
I remember seeing it at Chicagoland. I think it was with David Stremme at the time. That was just a weird time. David Stremme drove for Penske.
David Stremme drove the Coors Light Silver Bullet, and he drove the 12 for Roger Penske. Did he also drive the 07 like Jack Daniels car?
I know Dave Blaney did.
Okay, I'm getting him confused for him.
And then Casey Mears did. So
Casey Mears, yep, okay.
Yeah. But Boyer in the middle.
Yes. Calypso, good to see you again. You know what else is 20 years old? The movie that created my existence. Now look where I am, bringing misery to NASCAR fans with my reign. Well, Calypso, I rode the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney World. I didn't see you once. So
the CGI in that movie still holds up. Bill Nighy as Davy Jones. Do you fear death?
The original Pirates of the Caribbean. I've said this on the show, but that is the greatest trilogy of all time. Sorry, Star Wars. Sorry, Lord of the Rings. Sorry, Back to the Future. I don't know. Pirates of the Caribbean 1 through 3, the greatest trilogy ever. I will die on that hill.
I need to watch it because I know I've seen at least the first one, but it's been years. I probably not feeling like I just need to rewatch it.
My wife has not seen any of them all the way through because she always would fall asleep to them.
All right, we have a problem now.
I know.
How on earth is she falling asleep to Pirates of the Caribbean?
I'll tell you what. I'll make sure that by the end of the NASCAR season, she watches all 3 of those movies. As long as you watch some John Candy movies.
Sure. Okay.
I'm digging that grave back up.
Watch at least watch The Great Outdoors. That one's a good one.
That one, and
you need to see him shoot the bald bear.
And Riss needs to watch that epic sword fight on the spinning water wheel on that one island in Pirates of the Caribbean too. That is one of the most insane practical action set pieces I've ever seen in any film ever. Anyway.
I've got a jar of dirt. And guess what's inside it?
Hunter Nixon.
A great movie is what's
not at all
inside
surprised by the Josh Berry Wood Brothers split. He always said that he was way overhyped.
Oh, dang, brutal.
NASCAR News 6. I was bummed Jarrett, when the news broke today, took 4 years to find a replacement for Jimmy, and now it feels like I might have to search again.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Josh Berry fan. Yeah,
I do feel for Josh Berry fans. I feel for any fans. I never really had to deal with that, but as a junior fan, but like I'd feel bad for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, it was like it wasn't so hard for me to switch from junior to Bowman, but if Bowman does go away, like there might be some like Hocevar that I enjoy seeing succeed. I don't know if it'll truly be like a favorite or anything per se though. Undying Silent M. Hey Jarrett, can you spell layup? Well, there it is. You just spelled it. Bailey Reichert, this is what you get, Eric, for all the times you got random driver and one guess. You deserve to slip.
That's what it is. I'm just really streaky.
So mean.
And never forget, he got the glitch where he got the same guy twice. So really, he should be down by 5 at this point.
You had an equal opportunity, both chances, and you went 0 for 2. It's not on me. It's the score.
Yeah, but then you've just been fucking it up.
I don't know about that one, Jim.
Look, here's a guy who knows random driver.
Here's a guy, yeah.
Dino Diva, appreciate that. Will Harrison Burton ever get back to the Cup Series this time on a good team? I don't know about that one, Jim.
I thought he could have been a legacy Motor Club contender before the Heim movement happened, because he was their development or is their development driver, but
then now they found Parker Retzlaff.
Yeah, Legacy's got like 20 drivers under contract or something. I don't know what that was. Jimmy Johnson's going to come back and race for. They still got Matt Kenseth and Trevor Bayne over there. They have a lot of drivers.
Here's a guy who can. here's a guy. He only at one part he could be over here and he could be selling real estate on the other side. He might give a cup ride again one day. I just don't know. He's great.
Law Pug, appreciate your donation. Member of Rowdy Nation since 08 and lifelong JGR fan. My uncle built engines at JGR starting in 94. Get that championship this year, Denny. Hashtag all in. Yeah, I'm starting to think I might want to go to Homestead this year to see Denny get that one. And I think it'd be very fitting, the last driver who won her championship at Homestead being Kyle Busch, for Denny to get the next one. Indy Carson, good to see you again. I drove over 2,500 miles in 1 week and went to 35 to 40 race shops and NASCAR Hall of Fame, inside or outside, last week in the Carolinas. My goodness, man. Even when I've gone to Charlotte, I've not gone to that many race shops.
You're doing
here's
laps
a guy
around the Carolinas at that point.
Here's a guy who would drive
race shops. You get a job while you're out there. You went to so many, you might as well have interviews.
Here's a guy that would drive 500 miles and then 500 more.
Did his own Memorial Day double.
He also said the only shop I missed was Hill Motorsports in High Point, North Carolina. I stopped in Georgia and saw family, also other cities in North Carolina, and saw some friends. Well, glad you had a good time, man.
Nice road trip.
The Sloth Nerd, Carson Quaffle in the 81 because of the Penske rumor. Didn't think about that one.
Yeah, I don't know. That feels like another Harrison Burton situation, and maybe it works out better. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? In the vein of since we're doing our here's a guy, Chris Collinsworth. Here's a guy who just got an extension. He has nothing to do with this, but Patrick Mahomes just got an extension. No, it's actually serious. He did. He just. I saw in the chat, Blue Jimmy said like, "Oh,
yeah." They gave him
I gotta look up
today.
I gotta look up something to verify this is what I saw earlier.
Go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just adding to it. I don't have anything else to add. I don't know the details of his contract. I saw it was like it now restructured makes him on like the first NFL contract over $500 million in totality. Then I guess previous one was at $500 million. Now it's technically over it.
Jesus,
it's insane. Thinking of Chris Collinsworth, I have no clue what show or program this is on. There's a screenshot. Chris Collinsworth was doing an interview today. And he was drinking new drink from Tom Brady called Good Nut. So the caption of this from Football Crave, Chris Collinsworth was sipping Tom Brady's Good Nut today during an interview.
Real. Come on now, that can't be real.
Living out John Madden's wet dream. And you know what? Blue Jimmy's saying with about a season and a half of play, he could buy a charter. All right, anyway.
that or he could give all his money to Texas Tech for Brendan Sorsby to gamble it all the way.
It is real, by the way. I can't believe that.
Yeah, that's real. Snap back to reality. We already did read the Fred Dog 81, but we'll definitely go give love to Brock Beard on Tuesday. Bowman, dark horse at Pocono. He has won here before. West Virginia. Pretty good race happening at Berlin right now, pulling for a Carson win. Oh, I didn't know he's racing up there right now.
I'm going to pull that up.
Blue Jimmy starts out sunny, then a pop-up storm for 30 minutes in late afternoon. Sounds like the average Pocono race day. Can't wait to be back to the track. Yeah, we picked up some crazy rain in the last 2 days here that all come from like 30 minutes to an hour-long storm.
Yep. And it's like the same time every day, too.
Yep.
You can plan around it.
All on schedule about, 4 to 6 p.m., something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and so like I'll finish up work, I'll see my wife when she gets home. We'll, get the baby up from a nap, have a little time, get dinner ready. I'll go for my run in my new running shoes and then be back. And then it'll, start raining again about an hour or two after that.
Thankfully, it held off on me today so I could get my mowing done because it's rained so much. Like my grass was literally about choking out the mower. That's how thick it got.
A dick with 2 C's.
Yep. What's your guys' favorite paint scheme so far this season? Pop some on the screen for us. Say that's a little harder to do that. Eric, please do more paint scheme reaction videos. I really do like the change for Alex Bowman. That's a really good paint scheme.
That is a really good one. I like that change. Let me go. You have to come back to me. I don't remember. I'm trying to think of any that have like blown me away this year. Chat can probably remind me of a few, but it's hard to say off.
I gotta say, Bubba's this week. I don't know if it's my favorite of the year, but like even the design of the sunglasses being on the front of the Shady Rays car, like that's a pretty hot scheme.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. And I liked his Columbia car this week. The Columbia cars, they always change them slightly. He had the Hardy scheme as well, the kind of a throwback Inspire. Yeah. That's kind of nice.
He's had that one. He's also had a couple of like regular Hardy's paint schemes too.
I think the Intimidante, the black, Chili's cars is great. I mean, there's a reason it sold so many die casts.
Yeah, there's been some good ones.
I've got the Berlin Money in the Bank 150 pulled up, but there's just showing some car off in the grass driving around. I don't know what the hell's going on right now. Like he's like not on the track. Like he flew over the back straightaway and it's just driving around in like a big grass field.
Wow.
They don't have the leaderboard on screen or anything.
Snap back to reality again. The Sonic movie franchise is great. 3 good to great movies for sure. I'm hyped for Sonic 4 next year. I've not seen them all. I've seen them, but I haven't seen them all, I think.
I'll be honest, unless it's me turning my brain off for the newest Jurassic slop, I'm usually not in the theaters anymore.
Sonic movies are good.
I have not seen a Sonic movie.
They're not as good as Pirates of the Caribbean, but they're good.
Garibuki. So when can NASCAR repossess Rick Ware Racing's charter? Never. You will never defeat Rick Ware. How mid ratings will be during the World Cup? It's gonna be hard. I mean, there's so much hype. You got so many countries here. I will tell you this. I have enjoyed seeing on Twitter the Freddie guy from Germany's just journey all over America. He's been to Buc-ee's. He's had Waffle House. He's been to Walmart like every day since he's been here. He went and watched a soccer match at Auburn football stadium. I mean, he's just been living his best life over here.
I mean, I've enjoyed watching that part and the like cultural battle on social media between, the Brits and the States. But like, am I like the only person on social media that does not give a shit about this tournament? Like, it's soccer.
I think a lot of Americans are kind of meh on it, but it's.
I think America would just like to get we'd love to win gold in our country. I think that's just how we feel about it.
So like,
I give zero shits. Football is played in September through, January, February.
The Swedish national team is staying like right down the road from me. So there's a lot of like Swedish stuff around the neighborhood, like hyping them up. And I just think it's hilarious that they brought this Northern European team to freaking Texas in the summer and said, you're going to be based here. All right.
This is one of my favorite things. Is everyone just like, American heat isn't that bad. And then they come over here. We were talking about this before the show and they're like, it's not that bad. And then you just see them getting scraped off the ground with shovels because they're like melting. And we're all just like, guys, it's spring. It's still preheating.
Where's Carson Hocevar? Someone said he's in this race, but I just see Ty Majeski leading. I don't see Hocevar in the top 15. Did he wreck?
Did he go off the hill
too late? Was that him driving around in the grassy field?
Thinking of things that like to see on Twitter, I just retweeted something. Y'all can see it from an account. It's called Insane Facebook Marketplace Items. It's literally just finding the most insane things that are on Facebook Marketplace and sharing them. This is someone posted lemonade for parties, reunions, any events, $175. And the picture is literally like a trash can of lemonade, of a bunch of lemons at the top of it.
I don't even want someone's garbage soup for free.
So
they said in the chat, Hocevar pulled a Hocevar. He got into someone, then parked it. He broke a suspension after wrecking someone. That's what the chat's saying. I don't know if the chat's just memeing or if that's for real, but damn. Okay, well.
A couple more super jets come in. Casey Rose, if that 18 flag and hat hit the shelves, take my money. It sounds like Denny said it's just a one-time thing that RCR and JGR did together, but you know what? By all means, get together. No one needs to make a dime off that. Donate it all to Bundle of Joy for all I care. That's a lot of people want it.
Yeah.
Andrew FRC, appreciate that. Off topic, I saw the 4014 Big Boy. It's huge. I've never seen 4014 running in person. I would like to, but close ish to Eric's house. there's a place, there's a museum or something like that has an actual big boy on display. So Eric, when he's around his area, he sometimes sees that train over there.
I drive by it every day. And I apparently there's like eight of those big boys still out and about somewhere.
Very select few that are around. Most of them are can't
Just
operate.
statues.
They're just there to resemble. But they have one that they run every year. They're actually doing a West Coast to East Coast run on it. But when they say East Coast, it's like going way above Tennessee. So it's like I'm not driving that far to go see Big Boy. If they'll bring it towards Tennessee, yes, I'll make an effort, but not doing it this time. Casey Rose, I became a Denny fan when he won Darlington and the Edwards throwback, although it was bittersweet because my grandfather passed the day after. Rest in peace. I'm sorry to hear that, but
yeah, at least it's a nice memory.
Snap back to reality. The problem with this World Cup is the entire geopolitical situation of the world and FIFA as well, and U.S. not giving crap about actual football. Well, actual football is played of helmets. This is soccer.
It just means more.
You know what's funny is I actually looked back into like the language side of it because my wife's big into language stuff. You know, soccer and football were used interchangeably over in Europe until about 80 years ago. So like this whole pissing match about it is a complete nothing burger. It's been called those things back and forth for the longest time anyway.
I just know that the average European would not survive an SEC Saturday night.
Why would I love the videos of like Messi and folks like at the Auburn football stadium yesterday when they like sent the war eagle around the stadium to do its like flyover. All these like, Argentinian soccer players were like
I saw a tweet that like someone said like Messi ate a Buc-ee's barbecue sandwich at the Auburn Buc-ee's.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think, and this isn't just for Europeans, this is everyone outside of really the US, maybe outside of Canadians, because we have a lot of shared culture on certain things. But I don't think people understand how different the US is from like literally parts of the US are from each other, let alone the US from the rest of the world. Like it is a huge country with so many unique cultural things that you just really can't explain. Like when people are like the US doesn't have culture, and I'm just going to immediately point to Buc-ee's, Waffle House, all these other crazy ass things. Look at our stadiums compared to the rest of the world. Like there's history in a lot of the rest of the worlds. And then you look at our meccas of entertainment that are just like these giant monstrosities of glass and metal, but like look amazing at the same time. Like it is uniquely American. Everything is bigger in Texas, and everything compared to America is smaller because America is bigger in a lot of ways.
Sure
we have to go bigger on everything.
The average Walmart supercenter in like a random small town in Kentucky is probably bigger than most malls in like Europe, I'd say.
It's insane the differences. And it's like, and because I will say that's one thing I appreciate about this whole thing is like, I have learned more about the cultural differences back and forth. And it is crazy how different it is. But like, it makes me appreciate being American more. And now I'm just ready for the 4th of July to just go blow shit up.
We love our goods and services here.
Yeah,
that is for sure.
We might not have a long life expectancy, damn it, but we're going to enjoy it.
A couple more here. Andy Carson, Christopher Bell will be like Brad Keselowski, injured from Road Atlanta in 2011 and went on to win at Pocono and Bristol in Cup Series. There you go.
Good comparison.
Hunter Nixon, how do they keep managing to screw up William Byron's paint schemes? His absolutely suck. His Exalta one last year is hard to match, and I don't know why they went away from that.
Yeah, he's had some rough ones this year. I'm going to pull him up while you keep going.
West Virginia, the Pope said it's soccer, checkmate Europe. That's right. That is divine. That is from Jesus, guys. The Pope said it himself.
Yeah, soccer. He is a White Sox fan. We might be able to push him to the side a little bit on that.
Ryan Edius, hand egg. That's all I had to say.
Is that the new name for football, American football?
I guess so, yeah.
All I'm thinking is that like chicken Jackie?
Last one we have, unless anyone else throws anything in there, Jonah's stuff. Appreciate the $5 to end us off. Did you guys see the video that got posted yesterday of Ryan Blaney and George Russell, where Russell said he'd like to try out NASCAR? I saw them hanging out. I did not see the video from it. We got one more to read here.
I did not see that, but that's cool to hear.
West Virginia again. It is also funny that almost every English-speaking country uses soccer except England. Also, Japan even uses soccer. If it's good enough for the Japanese, good enough for me. I don't know what about you guys.
I'm chill with the Japanese. I mean,
Slap's been in Japan for a while now.
Dude,
Yeah,
that man's stories are so great. I can't wait because I know that every time that man goes to Japan, I have at least 3 years of trips with him that, like, when I go on a trip, I'm going to hear about another random ass story about something he saw in Japan at like 3 a.m. that I'm not going to believe because it just doesn't make sense.
I've been waking up, to messages that he sent me because it's like daytime in Japan, but I'm sleeping. He's sending me videos of different trains in Japan because he knows that's my tick, that's my thing. He's gonna be at Chicagoland, I think, from what he told me.
No shit, really?
I think so.
Oh,
he asked me if I would be there, and I think he's gonna be there.
Oh, sweet. All right, wait. I want to see if he can get one more picture with the muscle mommies in Japan. One more. I'm sorry, that picture he had was like, and all the stuff he told me about it, I'm just like, I need to hear more.
I didn't mean to out in case Slap didn't want people to know, but yeah, I think he's going to be at Chicagoland. A couple more here, Alex. I'll be in Philly July 4th weekend to see 4014 at Crossing in New York for the first time since it was built in 1941 yesterday and just reached Pennsylvania today. His Hancock whistle is Chef's Kiss. The whistle, Jared, have you ever seen the videos of this train engine?
No.
Okay, obviously the tripods in World of Worlds utilize the same noise that the Vikings use. If it wasn't that, they could have used the whistle from this train engine and it would have been equally as terrifying. Because the videos you'll see when it's just silent and all of a sudden you just hear boom. That's what it sounds like basically.
And now I'm like immediately looking it up.
Last one, because we do need to end up here. And this is actually probably a really good one to end on from Indy Carson. Best Ned Jarrett. He's going to make it. Dale Jarrett is going to win a Daytona 500. Really great quote from Ned Jarrett. Call. That's a good one to end on. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We're going to be over on Eric's channel next week, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, June 17th. Been a great episode as always. Hope you guys had a great day. I extended my random driver lead. Let's go. And hopefully I can keep the lead up and pick points. Having a great year. And yes, I have played Microsoft Train Simulator, but I'm more of a Trains 22 guy. Just uploaded a new video on DannyBTalks about that. Go check it out. That's all we got for now. Bye, everybody.
Drivers, start your engines!
Be plenty of carnage, so full head on them, wound up. Yeehaw, boys. Holy.
It's a junkyard.
Spend too much time hitting people. Chill, back here. No gas, gotta hang top here. Don't overdrive. Just let me do my job.
10 times. I don't care if I wreck the whole field. I'm over him. He's just a moron.
That was an absolute bullshit.
Not clear. Awesome. I tell you, Mama ain't raising no.
What the f*** are you doing out here? People are saying, just racing like idiots.
I don't care. Just let me drive.
What? See?